Okay, go.
Welcome to the Local Pundit. I'm your host, Brandon, future Wrexham star. Sit back and enjoy the show. Hi, everybody.
Say, and now introduce Ken.
Here's Ken.
Hey, how are you, Brandon?
Oh, now introduce who's next. Josh.
And here comes Josh.
There you go. And Patty.
And Patty.
Don't forget about me, buddy. Welcome,
so
everybody.
well done.
Future Wrexham star.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's go on.
Cannot wait.
Right.
So, are you right to play this weekend if we think we need you in the squad?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Where do we need you? Middle of the park, up front, in the back? Because we were just sitting around kicking the doors around. Your dad had a lot of opinions. What do you think?
Front.
Oh, up front.
You're going to be a striker?
Striker. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Love it.
Striker or winger. Or winger.
Or a winger. Ooh, on the right, you can replace Macca.
Was that left?
Macca's on the left.
On the left, yeah, well, you can replace him.
No. What happened? Our video went down. I
No.
don't know why. It's all right. I'll fix it.
He's too hot for TV.
Nope.
Yeah. There he is.
There you go.
I love it. Oh, man. People are coming in right now. Everyone give Brandon an absolute
Shout out to Brandon.
shout out to Brandon. And you don't need to go. Yeah, it's awesome. So we were just sitting around kicking the tires. Patty was in bed, and he was like, "What do you guys,
Hang on,
why you
hang on.
want wife?"
Why were we sitting around kicking the tires, Josh? Tell everybody what happened.
Oh, I don't.
What?
I don't know if we can.
Josh rings everybody. Doesn't look at the time. What time is it for you, Patty?
It is 2:28 in the AM.
I would get up for Patty at 2:28 in the AM. I would.
Okay, so now this is my own fault. I'm going to put it on my own shoulders, right? From now on, I am muting my phone because we have a group chat that we sometimes talk to each other when we're not on screen, and it goes off in the Discord at 2 a.m. and I get up and answer it, which was my second mistake. Mute was first. Getting up out of bed at 2, and then
Brandon was up. Patty, Brandon was up.
Yeah, it's not 2 a.m. for you, buddy. And then, of course, we're just chatting for half an hour, and then I don't even remember whose stupid idea was it. Let's just go live.
No. No way.
Nope.
No, it was down there. Down there.
Yeah, we were having a good conversation. It was probably Brandon, but we were having a good conversation about the squad. And I was like, you know what? What are we doing here? Let's just go and let's have a conversation. You know? Minus the fact that to your missus, who's probably working a 12-hour shift, right?
No, she's in bed.
Oh shit. Okay.
So you woke her up too, Josh?
She actually does real work. Yeah.
Yeah, she rolled over and goes, "Who the fuck is that?" and I went, "You know who it is."
It's Ken. It's totally Ken.
It's Ken's fault.
It's totally
It would
Ken.
not be Ken.
Okay, so the big question before we start: do we want the cat, or will I go back to the team?
I enjoy the cat.
Yeah,
I enjoy the cat.
Sleepy
he actually
cat.
looks like Bob,
Oh.
the cat I'm feeding outside. I'm trying to bring in. He looks like Bob Cat. Yeah,
Right.
awesome. Brandon, absolute legend. Absolute legend. Cat or what? What do you got? Cat?
What do you like, the cat? You looking?
Our squad.
Yeah, cat.
Yeah. He likes the
Yeah.
cat.
Cat.
Okay, we leave
But
the
dogs are better, in my opinion.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, hot take. Hot take.
Yeah. And Patty, are you guys?
yeah, I know. I saw that. Yeah, already in the chat. And that's not even the first person roasting me either.
Oh my God.
Uh,
What?
Hey, I think another thing before we get started. I mean, Brandon's here, and I may throw myself under the bus here. He may make me look stupid.
Ha.
Dan Scar or Owen O'Connell? Who you think's better?
Don't throw your please do
Dan
the right
Scar
thing.
or Owen
Do the right
O'Connell?
Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
I'll screw this up. Don't make
Come
that
on.
look dumb. What do you think?
I'm gonna make you look stupid.
Well-
Dan Scar.
He's totally your son, my friend. He's totally
I
your son.
know. I had that one. I knew before I asked how that was going to end up.
Oh my God. So
Well done,
what-
Brandon.
Well done, Brandon. Absolutely. Just bury your dad. You know what? But here's the deal. He's got dad strength. You can't take him down. He's got you
That's
at
right.
some point, yeah, for sure.
That's right.
At least I can do a push up.
I hear you. You
All right,
guys
so
just gonna make-
What game?
I'm just going to leave the room. I'm going to leave, and you guys
No,
can just
you-
roast me. We'll let Brandon roast me.
Deal.
He's like, yes, he's all about
Yeah.
it.
Yield. All right. So we were talking about we were talking about the squad. We were just kicking the tires, and that's what we were doing. So we're talking about the squad. We're gonna do this natural as we always do. We did a couple minutes ago, but I was kicking the tire. We were kicking about the back line, right? We were talking about squad games. I was talking about the back line, talking about Brunt, Max, and everyone like that. And we're just gonna keep this wide open lanes. So
Look,
As if you-
we all know.
Bye,
we all know-
everybody.
hey,
Bye, Ken. Bye, Josh. Bye, Patty.
hey, you said you're gonna do your homework. Go do your homework, or else Ken's gonna get after you, and Patty's gonna call you later, make sure it's right.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
We all know there's a simple solution.
Yeah.
Play them both. Scar and O'Connell. Just change to a 4 and put them both in.
Cool. God,
Patty.
true things, man.
Truth bomb.
Well, are we at that? Well, listen, we're not getting.
No, that's a joke for everyone, just in case someone freaks out.
But is it a joke
he's
though,
n-
or is it truth?
No, that's not true.
Not happening.
Okay, hold on.
If you're going to go to a 4, you go to Max and Brunt.
No way, Max is not good enough for that.
I would.
Or if you're 4 at the back, if you're playing 4, let's say 4-4-3-3. Who's our best 2 center halves? Who's the 2 best center halves?
Brunt is one of them. And then I would probably play Max because he's faster. But my next choice would be O'Connell.
Well, you're going to love me, Aaron. I would put Brunt and O'Connell together.
It's not a bad shout.
I'm not, but I'll preface that with I'm not changing our formation.
Yeah,
No,
fine.
No,
no,
we're
no
not
change of
changing.
formation.
Well, Patty brought it up. He's the one that shouted it out there.
I was only messing.
He was
I know.
dreaming.
All right, time out. We're already down this road. We're gonna play for a minute. We got time. We're gonna play for a minute. Stop.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, who plays wingers? Who plays left back and right back?
So we playing a 4-3-3.
Well, yeah, 4-3-3. So
4-3-3.
this midfield's the
That's
same.
fine.
Midfield still lines up the same. One holding, 2 forward. 2 center mids,
Okay.
and then 2 wingers,
Mm-hmm.
1 striker, and a left back and a right back.
Well, we woke up Patty, so we got to go him first.
See, just to fuck everything up, I would go 4-4-2.
I don't disagree with Patty at all.
That would
I don't.
actually would be a bad shout.
For the talent we have. Where you going, Patty? What's your 4-4-2?
Longman and Barney on the wings as wingers.
Wingers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
wingers.
Yeah.
Which basically becomes a 4-2-4 in
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah.
And then you have the 2 holding midfielders.
So who's your back 4, Patty?
Scar and O'Connell in the middle,
Okay.
and Max and Punt.
Yeah,
Wing?
both of them.
Leyton left. Yeah, a bit further out, but they're still playing defensive.
All right.
Okay.
I don't like
Because
it. I don't like
look, see, I know you don't like it, but the reason I say go into a 4-2-4 is because we don't play through the middle anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not against the 4-2-4.
Hmm.
I don't like those two at right back and left back. I think you play McLean at left back and Mindy or Revan at right back.
You keep Maka in the starting 11
Yeah, left back.
at left back. Yeah, fine. Okay,
Left
if we're
back.
going 4-4, yeah,
And Lim or Mendy on
Because
the
then now we've got
That's-
a
okay,
left back and a
yeah.
right back that can overlap or underlap. We can get forward.
That's
with them.
actually
We can get
not a
forward and
terrible
do
shout.
things.
Yeah.
But a terrible shout. Speaking of Gordon Grolla, I think is new and also is a member. Thank you. And I like the way Patty thinks. Fair enough. Where you watching from? Yeah.
But both of them can't go.
No,
they have
you do
they
one
have
or the
to
other.
play they have to play defensive duties. You can't have both of them going up at
You do one or the other. You do one or the other.
Yeah.
And in fairness to Patty, he's still probably dreaming.
He might.
He's trying to wake
That's
up.
why we went with the cat. That's why we went with the cat. Yeah.
Sleeping
That's why we
cat.
went with the cat. I think that we have the depth to do that. I mean, did we learn anything from what we didn't do over the weekend? I mean, so all this comes down that we were kicking the tires about. Aaron, who did you say our next manager would be?
Oh, now the way you say that, you make it sound like I want us to have a new manager, and that's not. That was not the conversation. That was.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he did. Right
now, you guys are throwing me under the bus. That's absolutely not what I did.
Prove it.
But
prove
what
me
we were
wrong.
talking about is eventually. I mean, it could be 3-4 years. Could
Yeah.
be next year. We don't know. You never
I'll-
know. But Turkey won't be here forever, and that's what me and Patty were offline.
You were
discussing
saying this summer.
What? Get out of here! Get out of here! Throwing me under the bus like that. That's garbage.
There you go. Yeah. What'd you do? What'd you
Patty's a
say?
damn liar.
No,
No.
what'd you say? What happened? What'd you say?
Okay, no,
I
hang
just
on.
told
What he said was he's available now, and we have to get rid of Parky in the summer before he goes and joins a different team.
That's
That's
not
what
what I
he said.
said either.
It's
Didn't
exactly
say
what
that
he said.
either. No, it isn't.
He'll find another team soon. We have to be quick.
That's
Yeah.
definitely not. I definitely didn't say those things.
Aaron, talk to us. Like, what's going on in that head of yours in your football manager that's got canceled?
No, I'm not going to get canceled. I said
No, canceled.
if we
the
ever
football
got
manager. They
if
canceled
we
football
ever
manager.
got if we ever got a new manager,
Got
I
it.
think a good shout is Steve Cooper because he's got a Wrexham background and he's a high-end championship coach
Mhm.
and Premier League even. I think he's got some Premier League experience. So I think that one makes sense to me.
Mhm.
And Welsh.
That he played in the Wrexham under 18s. Like he was part of the squad, and he's got a good pedigree, coaching pedigree. But no, I definitely did not say Parky is anywhere near going anywhere. Before we even mentioned the coach, me and Patty were talking about he's going to have a really bad year before they do anything close to getting rid of him. He's not going anywhere. And I don't want him to go anywhere because I don't think he needs to. I think Parky's great.
I think Parky.
But
yeah.
I love Parky. So but it was just with the discussion because eventually it is going to happen. Like, I mean, you never keep a manager forever. And actually the fact that he stayed this long
Oof.
is not normal. I mean, usually,
No, it's
most
not.
of the
Yeah.
time you don't have a manager for this many years. I mean, you get a few like that, like Pep Guardiola, that are just could be there forever. But
After today.
He's
so today,
the new Alex Ferguson.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just don't. I mean, nowadays people are so quick to fire managers. It just
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mentioned it on Extra Time, and it came from the interview with Andy Morrell. It's like, how far can this type of style go? And he said all the way to the Prem. It's possible. So
Well,
I'm not advocating we will with Parky, but it is possible to keep upgrading players, get better players, and keep going with this style. Now we'll have to do it better. We'll have to become better with our plan Bs. We'll have to get faster players, but there's no absolute guarantee that we hit a brick wall, because that's the assumption a lot of people are making. And what they're saying is championship is an immediate brick wall. Now, I do worry a little bit about next season if we go up, simply because of the amount of people who are in contract. It doesn't leave us a lot of space.
Why are there so many detractors? Like we're in their place. There's a lot of other people out there. Like, why are there so many detractors? You know, like it's the style. You lose a game when we listen. We're fans. Why? I'm saying this generally. You know, to everybody. Like, why? There's so many detractors who are like, why is that?
Well, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, let me answer that, because that gives me a perfect reason to shit on Posh. If you look at their fan base before ours, right? They love fancy football and they don't give a shit what results it gets them. Ooh, we want cool football. We're a progressive team. Look at us, aren't we good? Like, no, you're fucking losing and you're about to get relegated. So, fuck your fancy football. Like, for all the people that complain about our football, we're winning. We're in third place. We're in with a shot of promotion. What, like, pick your poison here. Do you want fancy football and relegation, or do you want ugly looking football but you're getting the points and you're going up? And I know they're not the only two options. There's a big middle here ground of all other options. So I know it's not one or the other, but sometimes people are a little bit like looking a gift horse in the mouth. Until we're not winning, then c'est la vie. And things have to take a massive downturn before this is a bad season. Because we were looking at it the other day. We didn't deep dive into it, but it would take a massive downturn to knock us out of the playoffs at this point.
Oh no, we're in the playoffs.
You know,
Paddy, can you just stop holding back for a second and tell us what you really think?
Yeah.
What I think is I'm going to be fucking really mad if we don't kick the ass off Posh and lose this bloody match coming up. I swear to God.
We got to beat Mansfield first.
Yeah, that's right. And I think Paddy's like a little bit got his angry pants on because someone got him out of bed at 2:00 in the morning.
Well, look, you wake me up at 2:00 in the morning. You take me the way you get me.
Bull gets the horns.
Yeah. Where is he? Right there. Right there. Yeah.
You rung everybody, Josh. You rung everybody.
I did. I was. Whatever. We kicked the emergency episode. Just that the boys are chatting. There you go. Ken, what's your champion shirt about?
Just a shirt. That's a brand.
What brand?
Champion. It's an actual brand, Josh. It's seriously.
It's a cheap ass brand, but it's a brand.
Oh my God. Paul Kelly's in the chat. What's going on,
Paul?
Answer
this question. I want to hear your take on this before I say anything.
No. Okay. Well, I'll read it out first, and then we can take a spin around it too. We need to learn the passing game and quit the long ball. We should have the team to do that. Now, I'll take my take on it. I think that Max is a happy feet merchant. I think he's a great talent. I had said at the back, maybe Max needs to be swapped out with a stash, and putting a Brunt back there. I think Max has looked somewhat out of place, especially the other game. But we, to that point, we are an evolution of a team. But that said, Max is a great talent, but he sometimes puts the ball over to the touch and it's not working. Also, you saw yesterday with J-Rod and Barney, that right side isn't quite working. And I think Brunty is a great guy on the ball, and he does play left and right side in our formation, and you can put Stash on that left side. So that's a great shout right there. And the long ball has always been our thing. And I'm not saying it's punted, punted hoofball, but that's something. Is he actually the best person on that right side of the three?
Well, what's your take on that comment, Aaron?
I got to take.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take. Me and Patty had this conversation last night.
It saved me doing this one.
I don't think Parkey is asking them to hoof the ball every time they get it.
I agree with you.
I think what Parkey has told them, if you get into trouble, get rid of it.
Yeah,
Because
put your
he
laces through
doesn't want those bullshit goals given away, passing around at the back and making mistakes. We've seen all season long where you get teams trying to play out from the back, they screw up, and you get a shitty ball going across from a goal, and then the striker knocks the damn thing in. Just because we build the ball out from the back, and that's
Yep.
it. We don't play hoofball, and I think he's not going to give away that easy goal, and he'd much rather us just hoof the ball into their half.
Yep.
If we get under pressure. Now he would like us to pass it and be progressive, and I think what happens is when you play a team like Leyton, who are fast and speedy with their press, they put us under pressure quickly, and our players, they get rid of it because they don't want to give away that easy goal, and there's no open pass because they were covering our play. Like it wasn't like you had a guy to pass to next to him. You know what I mean? It was either hoof it or you're fighting with the guy for the ball. So in Parkey's mind, I think, and in the player's mind, get rid of it. Now I do think sometimes they get rid of it too soon.
Yes.
And I think Max is guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of them, but they've all done it where they'll get rid of the ball a little too soon, or they don't have to. And there's other players open that we could make some passes. And it looks like we need to take our time and work on it more against that type of. I don't think we were ready for that fast of a press. I'm going to
double down on you there, Aaron, and agree with you because basically, and there's a couple of key points to bring out exactly what you're saying. Just remember, the team we played before Leyton Orient was Northampton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Northampton let us have the ball, and there was no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And we came up against exactly the opposite. And you're nailing it there. When we're under pressure in defence, he just wants the ball gone. The percentage is get the ball out of there. They can't score if they don't have a 3-on-2 or in attacking position against us.
That's your question, Ken? Do you think that's him just going this unchanged 11 and not playing to the team that we're supposed to play? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll just finish it off. So Max, yes, probably does it more than Brunt. And you'll notice in the last game, Brunt a couple of times took the defence on.
Yeah.
And he almost got caught once, but he got away with it because I think Brunt is a slightly more polished player than Max. I don't think anybody could disagree on that. Also, what you would notice is Owen O'Connell in the last couple of games has come across when there's been a through ball played by the other team, come across, and I saw it at least 2 or 3 times in that game against Leyton Orient where he got his head to the ball, didn't try and save it anyway. He just headed it out. Headed it over the sideline, which allowed our defence to reset and get ready and play them with a balanced defence to block a goal.
I'll say, to your point, we didn't give up goals, Ken, that were like, there weren't defensive goals where like, oh, we got carved up. We were giving up like a month ago. We didn't give up defensive goals where we're just like, that was crap. You're right. Our defense is absolutely solid, right?
And you go back one more game and you look at the game against Northampton. You compare the two games, like Aaron said, Leyton Orient, young, pressing us, applying pressure. Northampton sat back. Oh my God, we look like we could have scored 6 goals against Northampton.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. That's the difference in the opposition, which makes a difference to how you play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're going to play a passing game, all right, there's one of 2 things at least you need. One is speed. You can have a very young team, but if they are very quick, then that can save you a lot because their legs can get them into positions that are dangerous quickly. Or you need a very experienced team who are very well drilled and they don't need to run because basically they're doing one-touch passing and they're doing proper triangles. And every single time someone is receiving the ball, by the time they receive it, people have moved. Players have moved into position to take an immediate pass, and you're doing quick passes along and around the pitch. There is not a hope in hell with the team we have. We can do that.
No.
They are
Birmingham
not
can do
fast.
that.
Yeah, they are not fast enough. Then we have experience. Are they experienced enough? Maybe if they were drilled to do it properly, we would be able to do it against a lot of teams in the league, but not all, because you're going to run up against better teams who are drilled in that style, because a lot of teams are trying to drill in that style. That's the more modern football.
But I also think
back around and back out again.
Right, but I think we have the capability of the players that are in there to actually perform at a higher level. I think we have the team in place, whatever positions they're playing in, to actually go in and perform. I do. David Carr says, "Hello. Did anyone notice Brunt hit the goal on his feet?" Yes, he did. That's to Patty's point that he's saying that right there too. And it's impressive. And Chris says, "I thought Barney just looked completely lost most of the time." I don't know if that's true.
I thought he looked pretty good, actually.
But to Ken and Patty's point, I was like, we have the players out there. There is these teams come to play for us. Leyton Orient are a good side. They're really good side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really good side.
I told you that the other day. I said they're very good, and you laughed at me. Remember that?
I don't remember that at all. No,
I said they're very good, and you're like, oh, this guy's an idiot. That's what you said.
I think that was Ken or Pat.
That was you.
Again, another Joshism. That's why that people watch the local pundit. Josh to put his foot firmly in his mouth.
Yeah, I don't. So Patty will back me up on that for sure. He's got he's got it. Yeah, he told it, right, Patty.
Mm. Well, what I said, and I've got a graphic to prove it, is that this
Patty?
would
right.
Okay. See, everybody's bringing their own receipts here now, and I'm bringing mine. I've got a graphic that I can put up right now if I need to do so, proving that I said that this was the hardest match out of the next four.
Yeah,
you don't have it yet. You got nothing.
When you asked Aaron and I to tip the 3 games we thought we'd win, that was the game we left out.
Was that 7-0? Did you have 7-0? There you go.
Leyton Orient in unhighlighted. The hardest match out of the 4, and potentially the easiest 3 to win to get our 9 points. Northampton Town, Mansfield Town away, Bolton at home.
Why is it unhighlighted?
So,
mistake?
Because that's the hardest. That's the hardest match. We need 9. We need 9 in every 4 to stay on track. Now, if we don't get 9 out of this one, we can make it up in the next one or whatever. But so
but Michael Wolf, he called you out, Michael Wolf. Chris, he got you right there. Don't get the receipts on Patty. He's got you dropping bombs.
There it is.
There it is.
So 2 ways to look at this. You can look at it as counting points up, or you can look at it as counting points down. We had, when I started this graphic, 15 points that we could potentially lose in order to hit the average to get second. So we have now lost a match. And therefore, we now have 12 points remaining that we can lose and still get second.
In theory.
In theory. In averages, and it'll all shake out at the end.
Yeah.
I believe that Hip Karma might agree with you, but she was impressed with you. And Chris says,
that wasn't talking about me.
That was in relation to the front.
Listen. Let's give me credit.
Oh, it's okay. She's probably going to come in and eat me alive. So let's wait and see what she wants to talk about.
Well, Karma, you're awake. Come in and say hi. We're literally just sitting here. We moved it from the phone call to this. Come on and say hi. Take care of Ken and his champion shirt, and Aaron just getting rinsed by his son. It's fun. Can I just shifting gears real quick and on a more serious note on the Elliot Lee stuff?
Yep.
The pictures are horrific.
Oh,
and he's very, very lucky.
Yeah.
We touched on it in the news show today, but I wanted to get everyone's thoughts on that. And I said, I've had that Range Rover. I've had that car. I drove that car. I understand how sturdy it is. It's a Range Rover Sport. But for his injuries, and I want to touch on Paul Mullen at this too, and what I've heard about him. But let's talk about the more serious one with the Elliot Lee stuff. First of all, I'm so glad he's okay, and whoever was else in the other car in the accident. How far are we off from him, and do we need to expect him to just kind of let it go? For as a person, I just want him to be okay. Does anyone else have a thought on that on him?
Two different questions that we don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
One is how significant were the injuries? Because we mentioned it when we were talking about Macca's injury, that deep muscle bruising at a kind of a minimum you could be expecting after 24 hours, 36 hours, or whatever.
Well, Patty, they said you went dead on with the car and then went to the rail.
Yeah.
I don't think it's true. So your wife obviously works trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're bringing that. I just want to talk about.
But like if you look at the so Macca came out without those injuries. We assume because he went and played. Now we knew that Elliot got checked, went to the hospital, potentially has some injuries, be it bruising or ribs issues or whatever else. So we don't know if he has any injuries. So that could be keeping him out for any amount of time, but probably not ridiculously long because everything is okay in general and he's good. But then the second part is headspace. He could not be injured at all, but have decided to take a couple of weeks away from football. Because if you look at his post, it very much sounds like I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
And potentially football is not the be all and end all. I'm going to take a week or two and just spend it with my family.
Yeah. It's a little different.
It could be that just headspace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a break. I nearly died. I'm gonna spend some time with family and be happy and glad I'm still alive. Some people will run back to work. Some people will run to their family. Some people will do whatever. So maybe he just needs time for that. So maybe it's physical injury. Maybe it's a little bit of mental time off because of the shock of it. No one really knows what it could be. But simply Park, you're just saying we're not going to rush him back.
Yeah. And on that note, like Patty, Hip Karma just come in. Ken, what's going on? But you pointed over there too. And Aaron, Hip Karma, hi, how are you? I think it's a great transition to what's going on, and just bringing the conversation on that note because you have such a calming voice.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. Look, I agree with what Patty's saying on this one. His journey is his own. The physical injuries are one thing, and as we did observe before, deep tissue injury or muscle injury is one thing, and it will take a while. And it depends on what it is. I'd like to highlight Ruth H. in our community who had ongoing injuries as a result of a car crash that weren't detected for years. I do think it is highly likely that a large majority of it will be mental precisely because of the Instagram post. I read it as well, and that was my first response. He has had a life-altering moment. He has realized that he does not own a magic invulnerability suit that we all believe we own when we're teenagers, particularly when you are active and physical and he's an elite athlete. So he just has that assumption that it's always going to be like this. And he's just realized that it can be taken away in a second. And there's nothing he can do about it. So that's going to take a while to sit with anyone. I hope and I assume that he's spending quite a bit of time talking with their psych support, who seemed like a lovely guy, and I cannot remember his name. Is it Steve?
Ken, you did that deep dive. Ken did the deep dive in that too. Not what I'm about to like, but you're right. By the way, Ruth H says give it heart to you as well. But you're right. I'm sure that's more to it too.
I have the Instagram here. Do we want to bring it up?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, what's this?
Yeah,
Just
okay.
by the way,
Just to see the word, just to see the wording, maybe. Like,
yeah, sure. Go take it on. You got it.
okay, so the post, which obviously we assume is from Elliot Lee himself and not somebody else writing it on his behalf. Last Tuesday night, I found out just how fragile life is, and in the blink of an eye, through no fault of your own, it has the potential to change drastically. Thankfully, I had someone looking over me, but I'm well aware of how different the outcome could have been. It has been overwhelming to see how much people care and the love and support I have around me with my family and friends. It has been a tough week, but I'm feeling very lucky and very grateful. Thank you to the emergency services for all their help and for the kind messages I've received. It means a lot. And lastly, a huge thank you to Kevin Mulholland and whoever this is, Ander and my partner for rushing to my aid and spending all night in the hospital with me, hoping to be back on the pitch ASAP.
That's not a a small injury. I don't know, Aaron or Ken, you guys want to have something on it too, but Hip Karma, you brought great value to that. And Ruth H, give the heart, thank you very much. And I can share my story too about my brother who passed in the car accident. So it's not easy. But I didn't want to add to that.
Sorry, something I just noticed there actually from reading it out again is players and anyone kind of in a professional eye like that often will not put themselves out there to look in any way vulnerable or weak. So for me, it would make much more sense for a player to turn around and say, yeah, I've had this injury, I'm going to be out for a while, than it does to open up and say, I'm feeling very lucky how quick everything can change, without mentioning any injuries keeping him out of the game at all. That's kind of a very vulnerable thing to do as well, to put yourself out like that, because that's why it's sounding like, maybe it's just bruising, but maybe a bit of headspace time to spend with family and just kind of be glad of things.
I agree. And I also note that he says, looking forward to getting back onto the pitch as soon as possible. I'd like to differentiate that though. So getting him back on the grass and training is going to be something entirely different than getting him on the pitch, because you put him on the grass and training, he's in a space that is safe
space
and secure and supported. And that will help him heal, I'm sure, however long it takes. But that doesn't mean he's going to be playing anytime soon.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents.
I would, not to sound like it, I would happily write him off for the next 6 weeks if we have to. I'm fine with that. And Ken Cover says critical incident stress is an injury. Aaron, you looked like something teed up, and so did you, Patty. So sorry, Ken. So go ahead, guys.
What I've got is off topic. So if you guys can, if anybody else has something on this, go ahead.
I'll just quickly say, like, he will have, without a doubt, sustained some pretty major bruising, and they did say it was around the ribs. He will not be playing a match for us until April, in my opinion.
Here's the thing. If we know anything about Elliot Lee, he loves playing football, and it may be to help deal with the mental stress. He may want to get on the pitch quick.
Go back.
Because I know, like, if I had, and when I was playing sports, if I had something on my mind, it was nice to just let's go get on. I played American football. It was let's go play football and let's go get after it, and I can forget what's on my mind. You know what I mean? Or so for some athletes that might be their way of dealing with it. I'm not advocating either way. I think whatever he needs to do, let him do it though. You know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. If he's ready to play and he wants to play, let him play. If not, then give him as much time as he needs.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. Sorry, I'll bogart this real quick. So my brother passed away in a car wreck, so I understand brain injuries and passed away. When I was 12, he was 21, just graduated. So all this stuff, the mental, not relating to it. When you have a wreck and it's a mental thing, and like all that stuff. So all this stuff kind of like hits a little bit home to me. And him reading out what you just said, Patty, that means a lot. And it's like, you know what? I don't care if we never see him this year. I want him to be okay. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about him being that. I don't. Sorry, I know you're trying to get. I don't care. I think I'm happy he's alive. And to the back part, and him putting out and getting it the next day and playing, and then going and you know, putting the post out is a little more aggressive than that one, which is fine. That's how he deals with things. But I see this as as someone who's seen this happen to a brother. So I'm like, honestly, just do what you got to do. I'm so happy you're here. So that's it. So there's a lot going on there. And you know, it's not about, I want him to be okay. And I think football aside is so irrelevant. And if whatever he can get back to, if playing like Aaron just said, getting back and playing football, awesome. But I hope he's okay and his family's okay. This one hit to me home with the Macca thing, and then when it happens the second time with Elliot Lee, I'm like, shit, man. I don't care. I'm just glad they're okay. So football, I don't give a shit about it. Come back when you're ready. We'll deal with it here too. So not to get serious on it, but that's what we do here. I want to be honest. I want to give that opinion on that too.
Yeah, that post obviously leaves it open to be just physical or to be part mental or whatever. But I think it's obviously very positive that he's felt happy to open up like that and put out that post.
Not easy. Not easy.
But like he doesn't have the additional issues that Macca has in the background, because a lot of people shit on Macca just because of other issues, nothing about the player. Whereas with Elliot, he doesn't have dogpiling from people outside the club, so he probably only got all the positive love from the fans, whereas Macca didn't. But I had an issue I came across where early in the morning I was heading off to work and I came upon a car wreck, and I was the first on scene. And I ended up actually doing first aid for the driver until the ambulance arrived. The entire time he had a cut right across his face, and the shock that he went into and other people go into, it's a big thing. And you see it all the time when people get out of a car unscathed and they're walking around looking like he took pictures. And it's the first thing we do nowadays. But like you get out in shock, you take pictures of the car going, holy shit, that was bad. And then potentially later it hits you. But everything from the post he put out, I think, is positive from the aspect that it seems to be, that he's able to open up, that he's happy to be vulnerable in the way that he wrote that post, and in the support he seems to be getting from the fans as well, which is a big thing. So when he comes back, and until then we can manage.
Yeah, I've almost put him to the side of that too. David Carr, who's part of our long-term community here too, and I'll pass it around the corner, around to everyone too. David Carr says, have had bruises and separated ribs. Everything, shirts and everything breathe can be a pain. Sleeping can be disrupted. Took weeks to recover for every day. Can't imagine the impact of a professional athlete. I believe that, David, I don't want to speak for you, but I think that you'd come back. You've been gone a long time from the community. We've always been here. I think you got a car wreck and are still going back, and I think that's what that is. And more importantly, we're happy you're here. Ken, Hip Karma, and Aaron, just wrap up on there. And I want to talk about what I heard today on Paul Mullen. But yeah, we can wrap this up and move on a little bit too. So just go on in. Sorry, guys and gals.
Okay. No, I've got nothing else. Just whatever's good for Elliot works for me.
Yeah, and I think enough. I agree with everything that everybody said. I think enough's been said there.
Yep, just sending support, positive vibes, and let him do what he needs to do. That's it.
Yep. Got it. I hear it too. We were just kicking tires here too. But anything else? So the Paul Mullen stuff we were talking about briefly, and I think Paul Mullen. Do you guys I mean, listen, I had good authority said he's not. He basically said he's uninjured.
Phil Parkinson said that. He was interviewed what day was it? A few days ago, and he goes, Paul's fine. He's healthy, and he's ready to play. He was back in practice. He's back in practice. I think his wording was he wanted to get the squad right. He wanted to get the balance of the squad right, I think is how he said it. And so that just tells me that right now Mullen's number 5. He's number 5 as far as the strikers go.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how else you look at. I don't know how you can look at it any other way.
It must be some training session when Mullen is your number 5.
Yeah.
I mean, and Parky said he had sore shin. Then he followed it up the following week with Mullen's fine, and Mullen's saying he's fine. But Aaron's nailed it right on the head. At the moment, Parky thinks in order of strikers, who's going to get me a goal? Mulls is number 5.
Yep.
What's that meant?
You have to be strong mentally.
Behind Palmer.
Yeah.
Nah, he ain't behind Palmer.
If Palmer had one,
just saying that for Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what about the rumor? I don't know if it's official news, but the rumor that we have made a renewed contract offer to Mr. Sam Dalby.
Well, Hip Karma, what do you think of that?
I saw that on the Discord, and if you're not part of the Discord, please join. And I thought I appreciated the response that someone posted after it, which was in fact along the lines of, we've put an offer in for Sam Dalby that's more than Dundee can meet, and someone said, but is it more than the Rangers can meet? So I would suggest that there's a little bit of toing and froing in the back. I would be very surprised if we genuinely wanted Sam back to play for us. I think it's just contract negotiation. But that's Cheryl being a touch cynical, but not really knowing the ins and outs of it.
Little negotiation stuff there too. I think I actually agree with you, because obviously Hip Karma's like my my spirit dragon. But I agree with you 100%. And by the way, Esteban, just want to go back real quick. I want to give everyone credit here. I have to say something. The level of openness among men and women, because Hip Karma's in here too, is beautiful. We gather to talk sport, but stay because it's safe. It's so refreshing. Thank you, gents and ladies, right there. I know Esteban probably just did it.
Safe.
Yeah.
See, do you hear the way this guy treats me? Safe, Esteban? You're out of your mind. It's dangerous in here.
Rang Paddy at 2:00 in the morning.
I know.
It's dangerous in here.
I blame Ken 100%. But to that point, Hip Karma was just saying, I don't think we're getting back Dalby. I think it's all negotiation BS for sure.
I feel like that makes absolutely zero sense to me. There is no part of us making a renewed offer for him that makes any sense to me at all, for him or us.
Will not happen.
The thing is, Kent, I see what Kent's saying. But here's the thing, Kent. I know that was stated. The club came out with that before Christmas, but since then it has been it was rumored that he turned us down, and then rumored that we have gone back again with an improved offer. So, yeah, it makes no sense to me. Welsh Techie, what are you doing awake?
I know. Here, I'm going to put him out. As long as he's dressed, he can come in. There you go.
No, actually, don't be dressed. Just the
tie.
No. Come on back in. Just the tie.
Yeah.
It's only 1:15 in the morning for him.
I know.
Yeah, he's still up.
He won't come in. He won't come in.
It's not like it's 3:15 in the morning or anything. You know.
By the way, Kent, it's just Ken agrees with Kent. He's not going to sign. I agree with that too.
No, he's definitely not going to sign.
And David Carr says, "Remember the co-Aussies of the month are in the house. They make all the difference." Oh my God!
You and me, Hip Karma. You and me.
Oh,
That's it. Thank you, kind sir, David Carr.
yeah.
I
Hip
think
karma.
Ruth H, I think, has nailed it.
That's a leak from Dobby's agent trying to stir things up. Yeah.
Good call.
When
They will pay that.
Hip karma. Overall, we haven't been around in a couple of days. I know you popped in for the Wrexham time, which is great. Do you have anything that you want to touch on that you feel is a necessary conversation piece?
Oh, I think I simply want to reiterate the fact that it was amazing that we actually managed to get 2 really good strikers in January. So grateful for that. And it's going to take time for them to gel. They are actively trying to gel. Smith is doing it a little faster. And I think one of the reasons that is because J-Rod has come from essentially his home team. He's born and bred Burnley. He's been happily playing up there. He's moving down here and he's wanting to integrate. He's trying. I saw him, and I know that I am such a newbie and a beginner, but I saw him trying. I saw him get frustrated that he, with the amount of effort that he was putting in and that he was trying, but they just don't know intuitively yet where the other players are going to be on the pitch when they run their plays and their tactics. And you could see it when, a kick came across and from, I think it was Longman, and he was short of JM. He was just short of JM as JM was running for it. And it's that kind of thing. I think it can only be time and playing together that will get them to know he's going to be over there when I turn to make this kick or when I turn to make this cross. And we need to allow them to have it. I was amazed at how effective Smith was so quickly. Welsh techie, are you wearing your sock on your head? I'm just wondering, sir.
It's an anklet. It's an anklet sock.
That was going to be my next question.
Small one.
Is it a football sock or is it an anklet?
In all seriousness, for everybody that's watching, rewind this back a minute and have a listen to what Hip Karma said. They don't intuitively know with Jay Rodriguez yet. It's not natural. You nailed it right on the head there, Hip Karma. Jay Rodriguez is like Stephen Fletcher. He's a step ahead of most of these guys at the moment. They can't see it yet.
I agree with that.
What's good about Jay is he's gotten chances in every match.
Yep.
He has gotten chances and he's put balls on target. I think he's put a ball on target in every game he's played. He's not scored yet, but he's put balls on target.
Yeah.
Aaron, he's directing traffic around the attack too.
That's what do we notice about him? What do we notice about him? What is he doing different than we have a Palmer and what are we seeing up front with him? Because he's really enjoying being there. What are we seeing that he's doing up front? Because I was a little critical of this last game. I'm not noticing it. Did he run the channels? Jay Smitty was doing some other things. What are we noticing about him? That's one thing I want to.
He's trying to bring the other players in.
Yes,
he's trying to bring other players in around him. And this is another thing me and Patty talked about last night. Patty made the point that he thinks he needs to just get more aggressive and go for goal instead of being so much trying to bring the other players in, because it's like he's trying to do neat little passes a little too much, maybe. We're not on the same page yet.
Yeah.
Barney and him had a go at each other. Barney and they had to go at each other.
That's all right.
He's also pulling defenders off Smith.
Yeah.
As well as channeling players, he's pulling defenders away from other attacking players, which a lot of people they don't see that because they don't touch the ball. They don't think they've done anything, but what they've done is created space for the other attacking player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Following up on what Aaron was saying there, what I said was it won't be very long until Jay figures out that the players around him will not be capable of what he's looking to do. / they're not expecting it either way, whether they're capable or not. It's not how we play. And as soon as he figures that out, he is going to become like a lot of other players where it's going to be, okay, I've got the ball now, I'm going to do it myself. So like he has come in as the playmaker and he's looking around to play other people in. Once he figures out those type of positions that our players are not available, he will then know, do it yourself, because this is not a spot where someone's coming in. And as soon as he starts doing that, he'll start attacking the box, he'll start attacking the keeper and putting in shots on target, and he will become more dangerous himself.
Well, I said this too, like, who gets 2 new strikers in mid-season in January? Nobody does.
And puts them both in immediately, yeah.
Exactly. Dude, exactly. Yeah. Techie says, I just wrote the script for a pod tomorrow. I've got full ball. What?
What's a script?
What? Yeah, never heard of it. Never heard of a script. I guess. Hey, some people do this like they're really good at this, and then some people just show up and shoot the rehearsals. So.
Okay. So all right, let me. Hip Karma, can you just set me up again about what I'm going to do for him? I've gotten balls. Let's go. So, Watch Checky has just wrote the script tomorrow. I've gone full battle cry to get the boys in the mood for the posh game, i.e., Paddy's going to put his hair up in the mix and do his thing. And the underground from Australia between Hip Karma and Ken are going to be the lettuce of the match. But I want the preview. Let's get the preview. I want the preview. Let's go.
With or without socks?
Oh my.
If Karma's
well, he could actually wear a shirt.
I know. I mean, if you're wearing just socks, I mean, that's a little aggressive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's a little aggressive. If you need more than one sock to cover it, that's aggressive. If you need socks plural.
Elliot Lee's not back.
I may indeed have been talking about socks ahead, and I actually wanted to know what colour it was going to be. But hey, I will let you run with that.
No. Well, I'll read his second one out, and I've been told to just we're quality control here too. I'm looking at it. He also, it's not often player pulls the shirts. Somebody else read it. I can't do it. Karma,
pulls on the shirt. It's team shirt.
Yes. It's not often a player pulls on the shirt and oh god, it moved on me. And it really means something, although of late
we have been spoiled. Notts County, Boreham Wood, Forest Green Rovers, all have come, none have conquered.
Yep.
There we go.
Look, it's true. It's true. And I think that's part of it. We're not used to defeat.
You're not, particularly at home. We're not. And yet we've had the discussion and we block it. We've had the discussion that statistically it's going to happen. It won't not happen across
the season. It's unfortunate it's happening at this point. The advantage I take
from that is that it's not happening at the very end.
Hip Karma, you sound like you're in Star Wars. Hip Karma, you sound like you're in Star Wars, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. We can get there. Yeah, it's a little Star Warsy. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. But hold on, you haven't finished your broadcast though, because
hold on. Hey, Hip Karma, real quick. Say, Josh, I am your mother.
No.
We're the same age.
Josh, Aaron is your father.
Okay, I'm old. That's fair.
We're the same age, I think.
Josh, Welsh Techie is your father.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, you got to finish out his speech, though. Hip Karma. That's the rest of it right there.
More. There's more.
No, I don't. I don't have to do that.
You don't have to do whatever you want. Yeah.
All right, fine. I'll do it. The days of Fleetwood and Grimsby are these things of the past. We will walk out on Wednesday, and we will know what the fortress will be ready for battle, ready for victory. Wembley awaits. We're going to crush Posh, and Aaron and Patty are gonna take care of you. There you go.
Oh Lord, I thought you meant Darth Aaron's speech, not Welsh
Oh,
Techie's
no.
speech.
Welsh
No,
Techie's
Welsh
second. It was a two-parter.
Hip Karma, I'm a true Wrexham fan, but there's such a big part of me right now that wants to see Peterborough beat us, just so Paddy and Josh both have to wear Peterborough kit.
Because then we'd have to look at them wear it and their unhappy faces. As they
I mean,
did.
I would enjoy that immensely.
Well, Patty,
Because I take them to be men of honor and to actually do it.
Well, Aaron, how many has Josh Welsh done so far on his bets? Have we got a list?
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Hold on. Time out. We're timing out right now. Beers in honor for the Bolton at the Turf. Josh, yes. Red Horde, come in, my friend. I will Venmo you money for those beers. Come on and say hi. I would love to see that. Are you going to the game? Are we doing this? What's going on? And this is not.
He's gone over for a couple of matches. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Sean, get in here, my friend. Get in here, friend. Get the call going in there.
Come in, Sean, and look at what Welsh Techie did.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes,
Welsh Techie. Hey now. Well, Hip Karma, do it.
Which bit? What am I doing now? I am happy to scroll back up. Good Lord.
Josh says, when in doubt, throw to Hip Karma. When in doubt, throw to Karma.
And I'm at lunch and my psychic link isn't active at the moment, gents. Just saying.
There we go. Now the show's improved immensely.
Yes. Josh is gone and everything got better. If we want some news, I don't think it's been talked about yet today.
What?
The Welsh women, the draw for the semifinal game in the Welsh Cup. They drew Pontypridd United, which was definitely the best draw we could get. The other side is the New Saints TNS versus Cardiff City. So hopefully we can win that game and get on into the final.
Yeah,
definitely. I found what Josh meant. Would you gentlemen like me to read it or not?
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Hi, Sean.
Days of Fleet. Hi, Sean. Good Lord. Such a rehearsal. Just loving it.
Put the camera on.
So, no. The days of Fleetwood and Grimsby are things of the past. We will walk out on Wednesday and we will know that the fortress will be ready. Ready for battle. Ready for victory. Wembley awaits. That's it. So I did it.
That's delivered.
Love it.
And Sean has gifted 10 local pundit memberships. There you go. And we do have our north of the border.
What's going on?
What's going on, my friend? Talk to us. Welcome for coming in. Sean is in the house.
I actually purchased my first ever Wrexham ticket, and I had a kind of had a moment. I'm not gonna lie. Congratulations thing, and I was like, "Is this really happening?" It is really happening. It's starting to sink in, but I'm not there yet. And then Welsh Techie, who's here, and a couple of other people, I said like, "Hey, these are the games that I'm looking at going to," and then they're like, "I got your ticket. I got your ticket. I got your ticket." I think there's probably like a dozen tickets that have been purchased for me, and I'm like, "Whoa, I don't know what's happening yet. I'm still figuring it out." So I'm leaving. For those that don't know, my wife is from Yorkshire, so to us in North America, that's like a stone's throw to Wales, but for them, it's like the other side of the planet. And so I'm going to be spending time. She hasn't been home for a while. So I'm going to be home basing it out of Doncaster. So unfortunately, the Rovers will be actually probably about 400 meters away from her house. Their stadium. Anyways, I will be there for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Through the window of the Bolton game until the Wickham game is the last one I can catch.
Okay.
I will actually land. I didn't time this right because I thought it was going to be a Tuesday game and I could do the game and then head over. I'm actually arriving Wednesday morning. So we're going to be doing a live watch along and I will be watching on the A1 traveling up from London Heathrow to Doncaster. So I'll be at the Bolton game. I will be at the Huddersfield away, and I will be at Wickham away. I'm trying to convince my wife to allow me to go to Rotherham at the race as well.
So you're going to be doing some stuff.
I'm going to be doing some stuff. I'm going to be. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, really, I'm going to show up with a camera, with my phone, and do some things, and snap some stuff, and put it together, and do some stuff, and wing it.
So you're going to shoot the rehearsal?
Shoot the rehearsal.
No, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, that's what you do. Okay. And yes, I'm going to shoot the rehearsal is what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk around. If somebody wants to do something, I'll do a thing. I believe I know where I'm staying, but I don't want to commit them to anything publicly until I'm there. But I think I'm being put up for 2 or 3 days before. I know that Welsh Techie has purchased a daffodil for me. There he is.
There he is. There he is.
He purchased the catheter for you?
A daffodil thing for me. I don't know what I do for the body.
There you go.
People were talking about whether we bring the pajamas back out from if you saw them before
I saw them, yeah.
Pajamas and bring those out.
What about the suit that you wore to the Rex Coast?
Those are actually pajamas.
Really?
Yeah. They're like so maybe we'll bring them again. I don't know. I don't know how welcoming Wrexham will be to me in pajamas. These are the deep questions. It all sounds fun and game until I'm walking down the street and the damn things.
As long as you're eating more chips with Welsh Techie, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
And by the way, Sean, I'll say this to you. I said it to you for live. If you need someone to host on your end to get it out to your team for the Red Horde for this awesome community you built up north and globally, you let us know. I would love to help. I
appreciate that. I think producer B is going to be taking control of that sort of stuff on that end. I think we're good. I'm going to try and sneak in a couple of times and see what happens with Wi-Fi capacity, and I might even buy one of those little eggs to see if I can boost myself personally, and figure it out. Get in trouble if I can a little bit. Push the agenda just a little bit.
Otherwise, Hip Karma's all in for doing it. Yeah, she's good. She's committed to doing it.
Perfect, because she loves being on screen. I've already picked this up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I adore it. You can tell.
Honestly, it's a big night tonight because Welsh Techie actually took the bow tie off and he put his workout jersey on. How are you, my friend?
I had to take some time to take the leathers and the whips and the chains off, and the nipple rings were really, I couldn't get them out. It was really difficult, particularly because I've got quite a good man cleavage. They're really difficult to get out. So that's why it took so long. Sorry about that.
Well, now that
nice choice of body sock though.
So
I still got that on. Oh, it's okay. Still got that on. It's fine.
So I jumped on. We're training people to house sit our cats, and I've left the wife to house sit the cats. So I feel guilty jumping on, but I wanted to say hi. Shout out and all that sort of stuff. Techie, we have to connect because you've got a ticket. One of a bunch of that were like, and I'm so thankful that the community was like, we're taking care of the boy. And then it was like coming over, and now I gotta be like, okay, so here's the plan. Probably message everybody. So that's the story on my end. I will be back for the Stockport game, which how crazy is that? Like, it's gonna be a Stockport game. I was putting together all the games. I was like, wow, there's only gonna be like 10 games left in the season when I get back from the UK and Wales, and it's all on. We will definitely know whether we have a team or not, which I said yes the last game was going to help define whether we had a team or whether they were going to fold, because now the pressure was on. And I said I thought that it was good. I thought that Leyton Orient game was going to be a defining game for us, and unfortunately we failed that test.
How'd you feel about that? Sorry, how'd you feel about that? I want to get Techie's thing and Hip Karma too. How'd you feel? Obviously you watch alongs, but how'd you feel about that? Did you was it crushing for you, or did you feel like we were?
I went into that one because we'd been sort of off for a while, but I thought we put the team together. I think that for the most part we've got some players that were banged up, but we can't complain really about the depth of the roster and who was available to us. I thought that it was going to be a challenge. You have a hot team coming in that's performing well away. It was going to be a real test. And to me, it was a defining test. It was the way that the season's working with the schedule. We're going to end up with a little bit of a lull here. And then March 1st, March 4th, massive games. A little bit of a lull, March 15th, March 22nd, massive games. And then sort of you're either hoping for people to drop points so that you can gain on them. But really, there's not a lot of big matches unless you're Wickham at the end of the season. So to me, this was a massive game to line up the table for us. And that second half, we shit the bed. That's the only way I can look at it. And what hurt was the first half maybe was eye test one of the better ones we've had.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that, and it wasn't necessarily just skill and quality. It was effort, and it was the grind. It was the midfield nicking possession and forcing mistakes and getting turnovers all over the place, which was why we were able to push forward so much as we were. All of a sudden, the second half, they come out, that effort's not there. There's no fire, and they're not nicking any ball. They're not forcing any turnovers. We're just under siege, under pressure with lackadaisical, completely different team that came out in the second half. And I don't know whether it was because Parky, patted him on the back and said, more of this, lads, and we're going to be all right. But the fight and the tenacity that Wrexham is known for, at least post takeover, and that for many of us have seen, was absent in the second half. And that's what pissed me off. And there were moments where I was smashing my chair and for the first time was really legitimately angry doing the watch along because it wasn't that things don't happen. And we got outworked for periods of time. Charlton Athletic is one that rang to mind when we were talking about, but not to that capacity. So for me, I thought it was going to be a test. I thought we exceeded in the first half, and I thought we failed miserably in the second half. And the Mansfield game is now very important to try to identify and find our identity again. And I'm okay with a draw if we bust our ass and we put the effort in. It's when it starts to get a little bit ho-hum and going through the motions. And doesn't include Ollie Rathbone. It doesn't include Sam Smith. It doesn't include Brunt. But for everybody else, and surprisingly also Howard, who I was like, you muffin, during the game, because there were times where we were in hurry up mode and he's there banged up and whatever, but when he's in, he controls
he calms it down, Sean. He calms it down.
He controls the game, but he's a veteran that he's there. Nobody delivers the ball down the pitch and finds people other than Barney on the team than him. He will Ogonko, scatter plot all over the place, left or right, out of bounds, inbounds, doesn't matter. Howard doesn't do that, and he took about 45 seconds for the 80-minute mark to get a play going, and I was absolutely livid. We're down a goal, and you're cuddling up to the ball with everybody running down the pitch. Get it going. We had a free kick opportunity on a breakout, and I was like, grab the ball and go, and instead they hold it up and let all of them. They were still pressing up 2-1. Leyton Orient's pressing. We get a free kick, and you're going to stop the ball, hold up, and let everybody get back into place? No, run with it. Go. There was no fire. There was no urgency. There was no tenacity, and that sucked.
By the way, this is why we need to see you more. We need to do more shit because you have a lot to say. It's fucking awesome. I miss it.
Well, whether it's legitimate or not, I don't know. But I speak my mind. Before I leave, I really want to do the Michael Williamson take because I watched that and there was about 15 minutes there that I was like, oh boy, no.
Well, can you hold on to that? I'm going to pass the techie because techie has.
I should go to the cat thing.
Yeah, Techie's got something lit up because he has something to say. I saw him in the FID afterwards too, and you were fucking lighting it up too. And then I want to get back to you, Sean, and do your thing. Go on. And by the way, Karma, Aaron, Ken, Patty, jump in whatever you want. But I want Patty, West Techie, go do your thing. Minus a shirt.
I always minus shirt. Okay, fine. Oh no, I always. It's funny. I always go back afterwards, and I always watch Sean's watch along afterwards. I go through the whole thing, and I do the same with yours, Josh. Because if I don't watch them live, I always
sorry for you for watching.
No. And with the pair of you today, because while I'm sitting here doing stuff, I'll have you on my other screen, and I will relive the whole match. And today I did Sean's first, and then I watched all of yours, Josh. and I could taste the disappointment from both of you in that second half. And it was just something I totally and utterly identified with. But the problem is, I predicted this in the pod last week. I got it exactly right. I said Leyton Orient would win 2-1. And what I said in the FAD with Tim last night was, this is just exactly what we've been seeing for the last 2 months. We've been papering over the cracks. We've got 2 new attackers up front. What did they do effectively last night? Because they didn't score. The goal came from a set piece and from Ollie Rathbone. They didn't score. So what did they do? We've seen it before. We saw it when it was Mullin and Palmer. We saw it when it was Fletcher and Marriott. We've seen it before. It doesn't matter who you put up front. You could put, Maradona up front. If he's not getting the service, he's not going to score anything. And that's the problem. The midfield totally broke down in the second half last night. There was nothing in that midfield. It completely collapsed. They absolutely bossed the midfield because they knew that was the way to shut us down. And what happened when the midfield collapsed? We started hoofballing it again.
Panic.
And you're hitting it to a guy who's 5'3". He's not going to get to anything in the air. Not against massive centre backs like they've got. So it was just the same thing over and over again. And I'm not saying, I'm not going to do the parky out, but questions have to be asked because tactically, the players will go back to what they do in training. If they're not sure, if the plan isn't going to plan, they will go back to what they have been doing in training because that's what they're told to do. Okay? And if they are told to do what they did in the second half last night, then we're in trouble. And I said to Tim last night, I think that's automatic promotion lost for us last night. I think we should now prepare ourselves for the playoffs. Start now.
I'll take that on. I'll pass it around the panel too. And I know Sean's got something built up, and Patty and Ken and Hip Karma and Eric. Listen, that's why if it's gonna be in the playoffs, and I'm not giving up anything, the second place is still what we need to go after. If the JBD Cup is, we need to go to Wembley and play Posh next week, and then we gotta play, Birmingham City. We need to learn from that. So I mean, I'll pass it to the rest of it. Rotate. So let's go. Like who has something built up from that? I don't know.
I'll jump in because I disagree somewhat with Welsh Techie on this one. I think had we tried to play the ball on the floor against that team pressing us like they were, we'd have lost 5-1. They would have ate us alive in that second half if we weren't hoofing the ball down the pitch. We kept ourselves in the game by hoofing the ball down the pitch. Now, you can I agree. The midfield, they tore our midfield apart in the second half. I think that has to do with James runs out of legs. And I think he becomes where he's almost non-existent at times. And our midfield falls apart. Rathbone's trying to run his ass off and cover for everybody. Dobson got a yellow card in the first half, I think. And I think that pulled back a little bit on his usual aggressiveness. I think that hurt us a lot. But I think when our center backs have the ball at the back and they're pressing as fast and as hard as they were, if we tried to pass the ball, kept the ball on the ground and tried to move through, I think it ate us alive. I think we kept ourselves in the game by hoofing it. I know it's not pretty and I know it gets annoying sometimes, but I think that actually kept us somewhat in the game. It gave us a chance. And we actually had talked about this earlier. So I'm not so upset about that. I think our midfield is a problem right now because without Elliot Lee, we don't have a really good attacking option, a creative midfielder. You know what I mean?
But Aaron, we were at home last night, and he's playing two defensive midfielders.
I got to go do this stuff. So I wish I'd rather be here, but I got to go do stuff. So, I'll keep you posted, Josh, on what's going on. Stay tuned to what I do if you're interested in my trip over. And Welsh Techie, I'll see you soon. And that's that. All right. Later.
Go subscribe to the Red Board live. Does live watch alongs. He's going to travel around. Great guy. One of the best out there, too. See you soon. Later, buddy. All right. Sorry, guys. Go ahead. I knew he was going to jump in.
Go ahead, Teggy. Go ahead. Get me.
Good conversation.
Why is he playing two defensive central midfielders at home then? If he's got no chance of playing to the field if he's going to have two central, because we've got Cannon and we've got Rathbone, even though we haven't got Lee. They are two attacking midfielders. You could play George Evans, you could play Dobson, you could play James in that central midfielder if you want that defensive backup. You know.
Yeah. Preaching to the choir on that. You're preaching to the choir. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I don't like that midfield because it's too defensive.
Yeah.
And
McLean for me is out. He should be moved aside. He should be put on the bench, and he should become a Stephen Fletcher. He should become an impact player. You should get Longman, or you should get Ravan and start them and because he did nothing last night. And 3 times I counted, they got over the top and behind him.
Yeah.
And if they'd have been better, I mean, obviously the first goal came from that. Because he was half asleep. He was ball watching, and then he wasn't player watching, and the guy just went straight past him. He didn't do anything. I love Jimmy. I love his passion, but passion's not what we need right now. You know, so get him as an impact player. I'd rather him come on for 20 minutes and go nuts, than do 60 minutes of mediocrity.
Yep, I agree. I agree with that too.
Again, Patty, what do you guys?
Patty, you want to go?
Yeah, with Parky, the biggest issue I have with him is his plan B and changing the team and reacting to how other teams are playing. That has always driven me mad. So that's as much as I'll say on that. I don't want to go down that road too much, pissing all over Parky. So the rest of it then, I don't think the sky is falling just yet, and I don't think second place is gone yet, but we don't have a lot of time to get things back on the rails. We brought in 2 new strikers, and we have Longman coming into the team, and when they are set up and happy in their roles, we will be a much stronger team. So I will anticipate a much stronger finish from the team for the end of the season. The question is, where will we be by the time they get there? And if we lose too many more matches in the near future, yes, it could be gone by the time they settle in. And that has always been the danger. I do agree that potentially Longman, like as soon as we got Longman, we all were talking about where is he going to play? Where is he going to play? A lot of us said put him on the left instead of Maka. You know, that was very early discussions. Maka is the weaker side. We need attacking coming from the left to balance out the attack from the right with Barnett. I think Barnett has taken too much in his head with Longman being behind his position. We have spoken about that. I think that's true.
Over and over.
And it
over and over. Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of the unintended consequence of having him settle in for Barney, because Barney was one of our best players. He may not have looked perfect in the last match, but he was still doing a hell of a lot of work. He was still trying to get into good positions and get the balls in where we normally have them. But if we had done just a little bit better in that first half, if we had taken another goal, it would have been a very different match. And also their goal that they scored on us was a bit of a worldie, which great that they did it. Any team is capable of it from time to time. But again, that would be a completely different match if that hadn't happened either. So they're a good team. They deserve to win on the day. Yeah. But for all the faults that came up and were shown from that match, I don't think it was the most ridiculous match to lose under the circumstances.
No, they're an informed team, and Hip Karma has to go back to work because people work in this world. Apparently, we don't. But Hip Karma, last out to you, and we're so grateful to have you in.
I am just really pleased to have seen Sean in, and that Welsh Techie is here as well. Really enjoying the conversation, and I'll still be listening. I just won't be able to participate. And on that bombshell,
take care, Hip.
Take care. Right. Take care. Comb your hair. There you go. And Welsh Techie, oddly, who's this guy? Welsh Techie, beers for the Red Horde, £10. There you go. That's going to get you like a beer and a half and some piss in the trunk. There you go.
I can't afford. I can't afford to get Paddy pizza. That's what it is. So I'm just gonna have to go with beer.
Pizza, my guy.
If you order it now, he might get it by game day.
I know. Longman makes our opponents defend their right side. Macca isn't the threat going forward. There's so much to go there too, and people always get so sensitive about us. Us talking about like, Parky out and all that. We have the players to do that. I just think we need a few adjustments right there. And I don't know, Ken. The thoughts on you? You've been watching this team for so long.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. Every time we lose a match, the sky is falling. The sky is falling down. That's what fans do. And yes, I mean, I think first off, you have to pay a lot of credit to Leyton Orient. They're a good squad, and they played good football. They put a lot of pressure on our team. Now, I understand the hoofball and not playing through the middle and the defensive midfielders. Okay, so guys are saying, well, we could play, and Welsh Techie and you guys are saying Cannon and Rathbone, and I agree with that. Would Cannon and Rathbone, with either Dobbo or Evans or whoever playing that defensive role, been better against their midfield? I don't know. I'm not smart enough to answer that. Maybe, maybe not. But I think really what we've got to look at here is there is still 15 games to go this season. There is a long way to go. And, everybody goes, the sky is falling. If we come out and beat Mansfield and then come out and win our next match and Wickham has one draw, all of a sudden we're all going to be going, we're only one game off them and we got to play them and it's on, So there's a long way to go. And Paddy said it, I don't think you should be worrying too much yet, because what I do want is for us to come out and absolutely own Mansfield on the weekend. Just bounce back straight away, because they are a team that is out of form. And even though we're playing them away, our team is definitely good enough to come out there and do that job.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The thing is, Ken, if we'd have seen Tuesday night, if that had been an unusual instant, seeing that performance, then I'd be more confident. But it's not. We've seen it before. We've seen it before many times. We've managed to squeak our way to 1-0 wins by Stephen Fletcher stepping up at the 94th minute or Ollie Rathbone scoring in the 89th minute. We've managed to scrape by to get a win. That luck will only get you so far. Sometimes, I mean, I'll read you what I put for a pod for Mansfield. I'm not sure if this is a prediction, but more of a demand from me. Wrexham have to make a statement. Teams around us will have played 24 hours earlier and are really stepping up the gears. If Wrexham don't win here, they will start to go backwards very quickly. And that's a fact. That's a fact.
Sorry, Ken and Techie, and I think everyone here too, and this is not a shit on. We've been waiting for us to hit our gears, right? We have been. And the thing that's come out with possibly with Mullen not being, he says he's fit, and the shin thing's bullshit. We've been waiting for us to actually hit our top gear. So what's that problem? Why we're not hitting that top gear? Why? We're waiting. We're literally sitting here blue balling it to we're not getting anywhere. What's our problem to do that? Home and away.
My opinion, we finally got our striker situation figured out.
Yeah.
And we could have brought Elliot Lee back into his best position.
He's injured.
And then he immediately has that wreck and gets injured. Now he's out. I think him not being in the squad right now is hurting us, and it's showing. Because if he's in that midfield, if him and Rathbone are our two best eight-role midfielders going forward. You put those two and then play a Dobson or pick one, doesn't matter. I think you could pick any of the three at the holding mid, but you put those two in front of him. You've got a creator and you got a guy that will run his absolute balls off and make things happen. Yeah. With those two in the midfield, I think that midfield can be dominant, and that midfield would have been much better against Leyton Orient. And unfortunately, we don't have that option right now. And I'm not sure, as much as I love Andy Cannon doesn't do the same things Elliot Lee does.
No. But if you go to 30,000 feet, right, and look at the season as a whole, at the start of the season, we didn't get the signings of, they were obviously chasing players, didn't get them. We had Mullen coming back from injury. We had Marriott start the season strong, then get a broken leg. We had Evans get injured. We had players not playing at their best.
AO.
And we had all those things. And this happens to all squads. But in our squad, and remember, at the start of the season, a lot of people were saying, we finished midfield in League One. That's a great result. All of a sudden right now, we're in third spot and everybody's going, we're playing crap. Why the hell aren't we should be like, Brian, I can't agree with you on we should easily be in second. I don't think that's paying enough credit to the other teams in this league. Look at Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient looked a better side than us the other night, and they're in sixth. So, you know, you have all these things. So I think you need to just take a step back and go, hang on, this is a tough league to go automatic promotion straight out of League Two, League One, and go straight up to the championship. Do I want to do it? Absolutely. Are we going to do it? I think we absolutely still can. And I still think we can finish in second. But we do have to, you know, and these two strikers have only just come in and they're still trying to gel. Yeah. And so it's not easy. So, you know, is there time to do it? 15 games. Absolutely, there's time to do it. 2 stumbles from Wickham, 2 wins from us. All of a sudden you're in second place and everybody's going, wow, look how great we're going.
Brian, don't get after Ken. Don't stop with the consolidation stuff. He's not going there, my friend.
I'm a promotion guy. I've been. My first prediction at the start of the season was we're going up again.
Yeah, we're going up again. Oh my God!
Yeah,
don't
like,
get in there.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this on previous podcasts before, and actually in the interview with Andy, it's like, at what point is it fair to change your expectations? And you know, when we come through to January and we have the new window open, and we're within touching distance of a promotion automatically, then you change what you want to do. And the club, I think, have stepped up. They've brought in the players that potentially will do it for us. But this all depends on how quick things gel. We could have it lost by the time they gel, because it's dangerous bringing in 2 strikers, changing them both immediately. And for me, James is another issue. I think he's a very good player. Will probably do very well with us, but I think he is trying to play a different style of football than we play. He is used to having stronger, better players around him. He's used to doing tippy-tappy. He's playing backwards all the time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't suit our style at the moment. He's playing his game, not our game. And it's hurting us.
I agree there. Shay Daddy is asking Techie and Patty and Aaron and Ken directly.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Yeah, nobody wants to answer your question. It's the manager. It's the manager holding these players back. I agree with the talent. Is there basically he's saying it's the fucking manager and the players are there. He's not asking me. It says at Josh, but I think it's a typo. He's asking Techie. He's asking Patty. He's asking Ken, and he's asking Aaron. So he's not asking me. He's asking all of you guys.
Here's a question. Here's a question for the 4 of you. Tuesday night, whose squad was better before the game started? Wrexham's or Leyton Orient's?
Ours.
So why did we lose?
I'm not going to agree with our squad was better. Our squad on paper, you got to look. Like when Patty and I went through the game, Patty, I can see your face and I get it.
Go on. Yeah.
On paper, our squad has way more experience and is better, 100%. But their squad, a lot younger, a lot more aggressive, a lot more direct in our face.
The 40-year-old ran the game. Sorry, the 40-year-old ran that game.
Hang on. There's one guy that was 39. Everybody else was 20 and 23, and there was one 28-year-old, I think. So, yeah, don't give me that. And he was one of the most aggressive players. He was like the fitness of Macca. So I'm going to say that we were stronger on paper in our experience. They were stronger in terms of fitness and the way they attacked the ball. And then but to answer Josh's question, because I'm not going to balk it, no, it's not the manager that's the problem. It's the fact that the players haven't quite gelled together yet. Parky's in 3rd place in League One. Full stop.
Go on, Ken.
All right, I'll go. No, it's not the manager. Let's be honest. We could have easily went into halftime in that game up 1-0. We also could have went up before that. There were a few times we had good chances. We could have went up. We could have went into halftime 2-0. maybe 3-0. And then we're having a completely different conversation right now. But because we didn't take the chances that were there, and they were there were chances. We didn't take our chances. They came back into the game very strong. I think their manager did a better job at halftime at making changes.
He was in the stands.
They made it. That doesn't matter. They did a better job of making changes they adjusted better at halftime, got the better of us. Our midfield fell apart, and they were much more aggressive and much better effort in the second half for sure. I don't think that's now, not to say that Parky has a part to play in that. He absolutely has to take on that. He was outmanaged in that game. In the second half, Parky was outmanaged.
Damn.
That doesn't mean he's the one holding these players back, because we could have been up 2-0, 3-0. I think the one goal they got in the first half was a complete effort, unbelievable effort by their player to get that ball off the line. It damn near went over. He keeps it in. All our players were standing there thinking the ball's going out. By the time they realized it wasn't, he's turning and kicking the ball towards goal before anybody's on him. That was pure effort. It was a pure just work rate goal. It wasn't that they did anything. They didn't outmaneuver us in that one. That was just a work rate goal in that first half. Easily could have went in 1-0 or 1-0, 2-0, and it would have been a different, or could have been a completely different game. So I don't think it's fair to say that Parky can't do this. Not to mention, he's been promoted out of this league twice at least, 3 times maybe, twice at least. He's done it. So I think saying it's the manager, I think that's over the top.
But you just walk a patio out. That Decky's there. It's like
Who's next?
No, you start. Go around the horn, Jackie. I think you're next, and go with the patio.
No. I'm just going to say this. Exactly what Shannon Daddy said. If this was an unusual display, I totally agree with you. But it's not. You've seen this before. I'm a season ticket holder. I've been to virtually every away game this season. I've seen this so many times. It is getting boring.
Are we going
up? Are we going up? No. Not
We've
this
won
season.
2 away games in a row, Techie.
No, I'm serious. We're not going up. We're not going up. We'll probably end up. I think we'll end up in the playoffs 5th or 6th, and I think we might make it to Wembley in the finals, but we'll go out in the finals or we'll go out of the semis. But automatic promotion's gone. The key game for me is going to be Huddersfield away. That is for me is going to be the key game. If we get 3 points from Huddersfield away, there's a chance. But I can't see that happening because Huddersfield are too good at home. And once you do that, that's it. Because it doesn't matter what we have to concentrate on. What we do, and you're absolutely right on that. We've got to win, and that's what we need to do. But those are the teams around us. We're all watching Wycombe, going, Wycombe are second. Wycombe are going to get second. We're not paying any attention to the fact that Leyton Orient have just beaten us, and now what? Unbeaten in 14 or 15. They started 20th in. Stockport just behind us. But Leyton Orient, who we played on Tuesday, they started mid-November. They were in 20th position, and now they're in 6th or 5th.
Okay, let me throw this out there. I want to throw a couple dates and a couple results.
I'm here.
February 20th, 2024. We drew 1-1 with MK Dons. February 24th, 2024. We lost to Gillingham at Gillingham. February 27th, 2024. We drew 1-0 or 1-1 down at Forest Green. I remember that time. People were outraged. Okay, what's the date today? The 19th? I think 19th or 20th of February.
20th here.
19th. It's the 19th here. It's 20th down there. This season is far from over. We've had bad runs of form before. We can still win. We can not win the league. We're not going to catch Birmingham. We can still get promoted. We can still get promoted. This is far from over. As much as there were bad things you could take from the game Tuesday, there were good things you could take from the game Tuesday. We had 19 shots. That's good. I don't care where you're at. You get 19 shots off, eventually you're going to start scoring goals. It wasn't as bad as it's being made out to be. We've got plenty of time. We've got a few good games coming up that we can definitely win. Mansfield being one. Now we go down to Mansfield and get beat. Maybe I change my tune, but it's still early. There's still a ton of games left, and we're only 5 points off second.
Go. I say, Patty, bring your chart up, and then Patty, Techie, I want you to go through the chart. Patty, bring that up.
Hang on,
Patty needs to speak, but I'm at the moment. All I've seen for the last 2.5 months is that, right? I want to see that. I want to see the team start to improve, not maintain, not get worse. Improve. We've not seen any improvement.
That's not true. We've won two away games in a row. That's an improvement on what we've done this season.
Against two very, very poor sides. I was at Northampton on Saturday. They could not hit a cow's ass with a banger.
but they beat that Huddersfield team you were just talking about.
Huddersfield lost their manager and they've had a wobble.
Huddersfield, but not Wrexham.
We're all right. We're okay. It's not over yet. Long way to go.
I want to see that, not that.
Here's
unless we get that, we're not going anywhere. Sorry, Paddy, go on.
Go, Paddy. It's your turn.
Right.
You get to go now.
Back to the question we were going around on, which was Parky.
Oh, here we go.
First of all, before we move on to the remaining season, because I've got a lot to talk about on that too. So one at a time. Right.
4 a.m.
Oh, I've woken up now.
He's up for the day.
I don't give a fuck if we stay here for another 2 hours now at this point. I'll go to sleep in the morning.
Okay.
Right.
I have a package at my door. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You go, Paddy.
Thank you, Ken. Parky, is he holding back our players? Yes, he absolutely is. End of. And I don't know how anybody can actually take the other side of that coin. Now, is that the end of the world? No. And he gets to decide what he's doing. All right. So he is rigid to the end of the world in how he wants people to play. And that's okay. I'll defend that later at a different point. So I'm just going to give the basics on it. But how do we win matches late in the game when we're not doing well or haven't gotten ahead? We do it by moments of excellence from individual players because of the quality of the players. And Parky basically says to them, you can do this at any moment during the match. They do have that amount of freedom and flexibility, but it tends to be at the end of the match when players are willing to do it because they know Parky is so inflexible. He wants them to play a certain way. So absolutely he's holding them back. That's how we win matches we shouldn't win, is by the moments of genius by players. And it has worked for us in general so far. And that's what it is. That's where we are. Does it mean we can't win the league? No. Well, not to win the league. Go up, yes. We can still go up. And this is where I'll bring up the graphic in a few minutes. But absolutely, Parky is holding them back because he is bringing in quality players. He's putting them in a position and he's telling them, do it exactly like this. End of. That's what I've brought you in for. That's the role that you're playing. Do it. And when it doesn't work, then go and win the match for us. And his plan B is ridiculous. His substitutions are good for bringing in people late to give fresh legs, and our quality bench wins us matches because they're playing against tired defenses and they have the ability to change a game in an instant because they're fresh, and that's what works for us. But he should have the ability to change things around, and the players should have the ability to play different styles, to play different techniques, and to change it. The simple fact that he never brings people on before the 65th minute, the fact you can say never going to happen. Everybody's calling, we need to change this. It's not working. Change it. Bring someone on, do something different. Never happens, ever. That's Parky being too rigid, and he is holding back his players in that regard. So we should be doing more with the players we have. But in general, it's working. We are in third place. You know, we are in spitting distance of second. As long as we stay within spitting distance of second, then it doesn't matter how many matches we lose, because if they're losing as well, that's fine. And when I bring up the graphic, I'll show you points per game, and it actually looks pretty decent when you start looking at the teams behind us. Yes, they're not ridiculously far off if we go on a losing run of 2-3 matches. Anybody can get destroyed by that. But on a point per game, we are doing very well, and there's not that many behind us.
Okay.
I guess, but what you're saying, the way you're explaining that, every manager holds their players back then, because no manager just throws their whole team out there and says, "Go do what you do best." Just that.
Okay, well, let me say
See what I'm
then.
saying?
What?
Like, I mean,
Okay, yeah,
he
that's
brought
fine.
players
Let me.
into, yeah, he
Yeah.
did bring players in to play a role, but every manager, when you buy a player, you bring him in to play a role. So I mean, I don't see that as holding players back.
Okay, so what proves to me he's holding them back is the lack of plan B, C, and D. That's the point. I think everybody here would say that our players have the ability to have a plan B, to have a plan C, and to try things different.
Okay, so what do you mean
in that way?
What do you mean by
So
a
he's not
plan
doing
B
it.
then? Okay, what explain to
Like
me what
you see
mean
other
by a
team,
plan B.
you see other teams changing their formation, changing their
We
attacking style.
we
And
change our formation.
into
We
what,
go
the
to
diamond?
We go to the diamond. We know
We
that.
go
That's
into
plan B.
diamond, or we go into 50 attackers up the front
Well,
and
one
have
or the
no
other.
midfield. Yeah, that's not a great plan B, C, and D. Come on, compared to other teams
It
tactically.
works sometimes.
Yeah, look, our play style works most of the time, so I've no issue with that, you know. And I've said this before. I said this last season about Notts County. Notts County last season had no plan B at all either. So let's be fair. They had a plan A and more plan A. That's it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And when they run up against a team that is their kryptonite, they will simply lose. End of story. But their belief was that we're not going to run into enough teams that are going to destroy us, that we need to have the plan B. And Parky has mainly taken that philosophy. We do plan A, and then we do more of plan A, do it better. And then we bring on our players at 70 minutes, and then they get a shot at doing it better with fresh legs.
So I listen. It's funny that this conversation's it's funny because I actually heard a conversation, a podcast with he's the MK Dons manager now. Used to be Crawley's manager, Scott Lindsay, and he was asked about that. He was asked about Plan B, and he thought of Plan B. He goes, "Why in the world would I waste my time training for something different when I can just train my players to do what we do at the highest level possible?" Now, I don't know if I agree with that or not. That was his explanation for why he plays his way, period. Now, you're going to make adjustments to the way you play, but you're not going to say, okay, we're going to play hoofball today, but then we're playing tiki-taka next week. And then the next week, we're going to just do something different, and we're only going to play it out to the wings. And then, you know what I'm saying? That was his point. His point was, we're going to play our style, and we're going to get as good at our style as possible. And that's it. That's from a manager who got a team promoted to League One last season.
I
So
think
it's not just from, in just anybody. I mean, it's a good man, a good solid manager.
I think on that point too, I think that we're evolving. I think I agree with you, Aaron. We're evolving. We have better players coming to the squad that we're using to their abilities. That might be the thing. Now, granted, we are in third place. I want that second place. We get into the playoffs. Okay, fine. But I think we have better players that are evolving. I.e., actually, I'll fucking call him out. Maka, I think, is the devolution of what we need to be. There's an evolution that is a Ryan Longman. Now, Techie, you're there at the games, and Ken, you watch those games too, and Patty and Aaron, all those things right there. But Patty, Sorry, and while Techie, you're there, you watch him close up. Is that a position that could be advanced that we can balance out the Barnett and the left side of that wing back position? I think it's an evolution of what we need to be doing.
If something's not working, then you need to try something else. Not saying that Longman is the person to go on that wing. It could be Mendy. It could be Ravan. It could be no three of them. But we've seen Maka in the same position doing the same thing now for weeks, and with very few results.
Yeah.
Even when he comes in and has shots, his shots have not been on target, or he's not got the job done. You know, it's not as if he's banging in goals from there either.
Yeah.
So and as Aaron said earlier, it's an important part that because it balances Barney out really, really well. At the moment, all the pressure is on Barney because other teams know all we need to do is close him down, and that shuts off their supply because they don't seem to have any other supply at the moment. That's the thing. But the thing is, I totally agree with what Notts County's manager was saying. And yeah, absolutely, you train your team to do your thing the very, very best you can. But that's only part of football. The other part of football, and this is what the top teams do, is that they look at the opposition and they alter their tactics to negate the opposition's tactics, to take the sharpness off their play. They'll put in slightly different players because they know that the opposition player is really, really good at one thing. So if I put this player in, which I know he's really, really good at doing the opposite, he will negate that player and take away his bite. If I know if I put 4 across the back instead of 3, because they're playing a front 3 and not a front 2, I'll know that I'm covered because I'm going to have a 4 across the back. There was an interview, post-match interview, Parky said, and I quote, I can't remember which team it was, might have been Bolton or Stevenage. He said, we weren't sure what layout they were going to have. We're not sure what they were going to lay out. We weren't sure whether they were going to have 3 or 4 at the back. And they surprised us, quote, they surprised us. They surprised us? You send scouts to the game. You should know what your opposition may or may not do, and therefore have plans in place that if they play 3 at the back, we do plan A. If they have 4 at the back, we do plan B, which is only maybe a slight tweak on plan A, but it's still a tweak. Not have plan A and then that's it.
Techie, do you think that there is I don't find him a guy, and Ken, and you guys do the post games a lot too, and I am a little more pedantic about it, but and Patty and Aaron, do you think that he's that unprepared? I don't think so.
No,
no.
I think what. Go ahead.
I'm not quite Techie. I'm not saying oh fuck you, not thinking. I'm just pointing out that you guys do the post game.
So to Welsh Techie's point, did Leyton Orient do that to us this week? Probably yes. They played a style to apply pressure to us and made us not as effective as we sometimes are. Now, there's been a few questions fly back and forth. What's Parky's ceiling? There is no ceiling. You give Parky the exact players he wants. Give him an unlimited checkbook and say, you can have all the players you want for a 5-3-2 Parky. Then they'd beat any team in any league. I'm talking about best players on the planet. So there's not a ceiling to the style. Now, the players have a ceiling because a player only has a certain level of ability at that point in time. He can improve and get better. But at this week, all those players, AO, Howard, Brunt, O'Connell, everybody has a ceiling. Now, is it going to be good enough to win that match with that style of play? That's the question. So, we've tried to get better players. You've got to make them as effective as possible. That's the simple formula. Are they good enough?
He plays wing backs, but he's not using wing backs. He's using wingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a problem right there. Doesn't matter what tactics you put in. If you're playing a wing back system without wing backs, you are always going to be vulnerable to those corners. And hey, presto, all right, they've managed to address it, obviously, by saying to Barney and to Max, you're going to need to be a bit sharper because at the moment things are getting past you.
Okay,
But
so
that's
Techie, is that a manager problem or a player problem?
Well, you're asking the player to do something that they are not fully able to do because they've not trained to do that. So it's the management's job. It's the management's job to get them trained to be able to do a wing back role. But with footballers, not every footballer can do every role. And there are some, you do have, like Tom O'Connor has transitioned quite nicely from being in central midfield to being towards centre back. He's done that really, really well. Not every player can do that. Not every player can do that. And sometimes you ask a player to do something, you try and fit them in a role, and it all goes horrendously wrong because they can't cope. They can't do it. So I don't think it's the player's fault. The player will do what the manager tells them to do. That's what they're programmed from when they're 9 years old. I'm lucky that Zoe works in the academy. So I've seen a lot of the academy guys. I'm from 9 years old. They are drilled. You do what the manager tells you to do, whatever formation and whatever instructions you do in training. That's what you do. Yeah. You can have moments of brilliance, as you rightly say, and that's fine. But that only comes at a certain level of confidence. Younger players don't have that level of confidence because they're like, the manager has told me to do this, so this is what I've got to do. Because you know that you are part of a team. If you are out of position, you leave a hole. That hole invites your opposition to come in, and then that splits everything apart. You are letting then your other teammates down. So you have to be so careful to stick to your job. Everybody has a job. Everybody has a role. Only players who are a lot older, a lot more experienced, or the Wayne Rooneys of this world who are on that completely other different level of genius, they're the ones who just go for it, and you kind of go, well, yeah, they're going to do that, and that's fine, We're playing a wing back system without wing backs.
Well, okay, that's fair, and I agree that they're probably not wing backs. But I think if you polled all the managers in the league and asked them who the best right wing back in the league is, I bet you Brian Barnett wins that. So granted, and it's because of his attacking play, and I think that's why I think Parkey chooses players that are wingers to play his wingbacks because he wants to be attacking. I think his focus is on the attacking. When he chooses his wingbacks, he's looking for attacking players. Luke Bolton, perfect example. He was a winger, and we brought him in hoping to make him a wingback. You're right. For him, it didn't work out. Did not work out for him. Another thing is too, though, you got to remember what level we're at too. If we had a player that can attack like Barney, but then also be one of the best defenders at the back, he's probably playing in the Premier League. Oh yeah, to be fair, you know what I mean. So you're probably not going to get the best of both. You know what I mean. So I don't think it's a I think it's. While I definitely agree, he's playing wingers at wingback. I would totally agree with that.
Wingers Longman's a effing winger. He's not.
Yeah, absolutely, he is. Yeah, absolutely, Longman's a winger. But I think that's what Parkey looks for at this level when he's trying to find a wingback. He's more worried about the attacking than he is.
But he's a better player than a lot of people out there too.
It's a game. It's a game of trade-offs, and it's very simple.
What does that do, Patty? I'm not questioning you. I'm asking, why does it have to be? Why?
No, it does have to be because you're asking them to not do the job that they're used to. So here's the problem: is you bring in a winger, right?
Yeah.
They're coming down from a higher level above, so they have this extra talent. They have this extra knowledge, and that's what you're paying them for. You may be losing a bit of speed. You may be losing a bit of ability to go 90 minutes, whatever. They might get tired a little bit quicker, but you are taking those risks on because they're probably cheaper. Rather than getting younger players, you don't generally have to train them as much because they're already trained.
We paid the price for Longman. We did.
Okay, but not as high a price as you would if you went for someone else. So the point then is when you have these trade-offs and you decide to go with experience, you bring them in and then you change their position. Well, what happens when you change their position and you start asking them to do something different? You can get a player who is amazing and he can change and he takes that on board and you lose virtually nothing. excellent. But it doesn't always work that way. You
No.
brought them in for their excellence in a specific style of football, and then you change their style of football. So you're losing a lot of that, some of that experience in cases, because they're not used to seeing the game from that position. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it's a potential risk.
Do we do that for our strikers? I hope we don't. I mean, I hope we.
The answer to your question,
yes, we do. Absolutely,
Yeah,
we do.
yeah,
No, absolutely, we do. We bring in Sam Smith now, and we're throwing long high balls into him that he's not used to having. He's used to getting service on the ground. Now we're asking him to play completely different style. Absolutely, we do.
and he's adapted fairly well to that. To be fair,
So
but
far.
yeah, so
Yeah.
far. But just to answer your question, why do you have to do that? Is exactly what Aaron said, which is, if they do everything, they're playing in the Premier League or the Championship. That's why.
Yeah.
We're in
But
League One.
there is something also that's going on mentally with the group, because the amount of times you see, we'll go goal up, and I saw it at Bristol Rovers. I saw it at
Backtrack.
there's another one. Yeah, we last 10 minutes. We just step back. We step back. The
We
midfield
score.
then
We
starts
score.
sitting in
We just automatic like shrivel up. Like we shrivel up. Why?
Now, why? That's in there because you should be playing the same way, and you're already more confident. All right, the opposition goes, okay, well, we need to step our game up because now we're a goal down. But you should be negating that and saying, well, no, we're confident. We have confidence. We're now in the lead. Game management. If you're in the lead after 30 minutes, there's no point in sitting back, and protecting a 1-0 lead because you're not going to protect it. You need to go and get that second goal and third goal and put it to bed. When was the last time we put a side to bed? Exeter, probably 3-0 in October.
Port Vale 4. I was going to say Port
Port
Vale 4.
Vale.
Besides
Port Vale.
that,
But they were a completely changed 11, and there were a lot of kids. So but there's something in there as well. And I saw it at Northampton. We went 2-0 up after 37 minutes.
Yeah, we should have won.
Everybody around me was saying, right, come on, these guys are rubbish. We could just wipe them out. We could get 4-0 here, no problem at all. Let's put the boot on the throat and let's get into them. And what do? We fluffed around a bit. We gave them the ball more than we should have done, and we sat back.
Well, we did. We just did the last game too, and that's one of the things that we talk about too. Producer Ann's home, by the way. I didn't plug her in, but she's still here.
Hi, Producer Ann.
Hey, Producer Ann. But no, you're right, and I think Patty, Ken, Aaron, Hipcar, everyone comes in here. We're like, why are we not putting it on their throat? Why are we not doing this? What do we? So we have the player. I actually think, and y'all can tell me this. Rodriguez, who's just come in and come down to our in his postmaster, he was like, the fuck is going on here? Why are we not going and crushing it? You guys still tell me. I did you guys not see that? You got Techie, you were in our chat and you said you were in the chat when I was doing the post Wrexham reaction. I was doing it. You were like messaging like, what the F?
But you hear new players in those interviews, in their first couple especially, turn around and say, I have to get used to the way we play. Mm-hmm. Almost all of them are coming in with a different style. Part of that is simply other teams have moved away from this style of football. 3-5-2, wing backs with hoofball, long ball. It's not done by that many teams anymore. Therefore, there isn't as many players that are comfortable with that style that we can buy in and will immediately plug and play. They have to learn, and we have to guess which ones are going to be able to do it well.
I don't put much credence in post-match interviews. It's media speak. They are. Oh, we played well today. We win. We played well today. Thanks to the gaffer. Really enjoyed it. Thanks to the fans. We lose. Yeah, it was really disappointing. The other team played really well tonight. We just didn't do our best. We didn't do this. I'm still trying to adapt to the play. It's like, just roll out the six answers that you've been trained in media training. They're a waste of time. I would rather be able to see, and we're never going to get to do it, but how good would it be instead of seeing a post-match media interview, you had a camera and a microphone inside the dressing room when the gaffer walked into the team straight after the match. How good would that be?
Techie, Welsh Techie, eat more chips, and local pundit, togetherness, going to do on-site stuff.
What? What? We're having a production meeting.
Yeah, you're the on-site reporter for.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
I've been promoted. Excellent.
Well, you have to wear a shirt.
The thing is, as I say, if Tuesday was an unusual event, I would totally agree with you and say, oh yeah, that was just a blip. But I've seen it so many times before. And Sunday, we should be putting Mullin out, or we should be putting Marriott out, because Mansfield are absolutely in the dog poo at the moment.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. By the way, sorry, I want to bring up your Mullen point to the second. If you keep going, I'm going to bring the Mullen point, which I heard from. I wanted you heard this too. Go ahead. Go on.
We should be, because we don't need I'm going to put myself out here. We don't need our best 11 against Mansfield on Sunday. We don't. They're not that good. They came up with us. Don't forget they came up behind us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not that good. They were never that good. We don't need our best 11. If we're going to get players, because the thing is, often it's the players on the bench who will come in with energy and with passion and with excitement and with drive. They're the ones you want to get on and give them a chance. I'm not saying I'll fix everything, but
which team would you rather have your better 11 for? Mansfield on the weekend or Peterborough?
No, Peterborough, because we have to go to Wembley. We have to go to Wembley. We have to have something to look forward to as moving forward towards the end of the season. We have to go to Wembley. I'm not saying I've been to Wembley. I've been to Wembley now 4 times with Wrexham. Won 1, lost 3.
Yeah, you're not allowed to go.
And every time it's great because it's Wembley and it's always a brilliant atmosphere and it's great being with there'll be 25,000 Wrexham fans there. When else are you going to be in a ground with 25,000 Wrexham fans together? Even when you're on away, even with the big stadiums we play at the moment, you're never going to get 25. I mean, I remember when we played Man U in 96 or 97 in the FA Cup. We went to Old Trafford and there were 12,500 of us there, and we all took up one end in a mid-tier, and it was brilliant. It was brilliant. But it's even better when you've got 25,000 of us all screaming and singing "Fearless in Devotion." That's incredible.
I've been telling you this now. I think if we go to Wembley, it's because we might end up in the playoffs, and it might help us out if we get into the playoffs. To that point, and I know we've been on for like 2 hours and 7 minutes, but we did not expect this. This is like this up, whatever. They're just bullshitting around. Mullen saying he's not injured to someone as they walk in, and I won't name names. I trust this person and I trust them. Mullen saying I'm not hurt. What do you make on that?
He's not hurt.
Yeah, he wants to play. He wants to play.
At the moment, though, Parky has a different plan. And as we've said many, many times, football is not a compassionate sport. It's not a huggy, kissy, whatever-y sport. It's a sport which is based on results. And Parky is going, the system that I want to play and the way I want to play at the moment does not include the skills that Mullin currently have. They're not the skills that I need. The skills that I need are Smith and Rodriguez, or Smith and Marriott, or Fletcher and Marriott. That's what he's saying at the moment. Palmer's not even, we've not even talked about Palmer because he's out now. He's done. He's done. And the fact that he's got another 12 months on his contract, goodness knows what he's going to do if he doesn't go in the summer, because he's going to get so bored. Because even if we stay in League One, he's not playing again, or unless he's playing in a lower virtual trophy game.
JBD.
That'll be it. So he's done. He's done. But at the Mullin is absolutely fit to play. If Parky turned round to him tomorrow and said, "You're playing Sunday," he'd be there.
And
there's nothing wrong. And he'd be ready. There's nothing wrong with him.
He was pissed going in and said, "Nothing wrong with me. I'm not."
Yeah. And rightly so. He's a man who wears his heart on his sleeve. We've seen that. We've seen that in the documentary. I've seen that in person. I've seen that when he gets irate with players and gets irate with his own players and gets irate with officials and even gets irate with Parky. I've seen it. He's a man who wears his heart on his sleeve. You know, doesn't mean he's disrespectful. He's just passionate, and he is a striker, and strikers by their very nature absolutely are passionate because they have one job. They are only happy when they score 10 goals a game.
The wide receivers of American football, Aaron, you know that.
Yeah, but he had his opportunity when he came back, and he didn't finish.
He didn't take it.
The goals. He didn't take it. So now he's sitting. So I for one, I'm not like calling for him to be back in the team.
No, but against Mansfield, you know, and against Cambridge, I'd put him in because they're lower league. They are down the bottom of the league. They're the ones we should be putting to the sword completely. And we should be giving players with passion and energy who have not played much the chance to show that. I'm not saying it'll work.
Okay,
but why
okay,
put
but
right,
but
I
then you have
agree
the opposite side of that coin
ahead.
is we have new players that need to gel with the
Yeah.
team, and you're not going to put them on against the weaker teams we have, and then you're going to train them on the training pitch, and then you're going to put them in against the hardest teams.
But we've got more teams that are hardest to play than they are easiest to play because all the teams down the bottom of the league we've already played and we've not managed to get results from. We've drawn 1-1, or you know, or Cambridge 2-2. You know, we've not
an easier run home than Wickham. Well, Sticky.
Yeah.
But again, we're fixing on Wickham to get that second place. I don't think it's going to be Wickham. I don't think it's going to be Wickham.
Yeah, it is.
Well, hot teams go, as we all know. And by the way, the hot team right now is actually Paddy Power, who is actually sitting in a like this with a comfort zone with his kitty. It's look at just
he's hot under the collar because someone rang him at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my God, look at it.
Okay, just so everyone's aware, that's not my cat.
It's just a random cat. It's not even his
just
cat.
a random cat.
I didn't realize Scandinavian cats were that big.
Don't.
Oh, we've huge cats.
That's a huge.
We have huge
He doesn't
cats.
have a pet cat. He's got a pet polar bear.
I know. It's gonna put all right, we've done 2 hours. This isn't. Patty, you got something to do? Go on. You gone?
Yeah, we're not done yet.
Oh,
right,
God.
let's get back to
He's
positives.
got charts. He's got charts.
Oh man, damn.
Right. So, we have at one point now. This is just before the last match that we lost because I haven't updated it. 1.933 points per match, barely behind Wickham Wanderers on 2, which is pretty much what you need to get second place in automatic promotion. After that, you have Stockport County 1.78, Huddersfield 1.73, Leyton Orient 1.66. So yes, they're behind us, and yes, a couple of match slide can change things. We know we're not that safe, but at the same time, like, they are significantly behind us, and overly worrying about them is not going to help us either. So we have to wait and see how it pans out, and until they're passing us, I'm not going to go crazy about it. We are in a good position, and we don't necessarily have to end up on the average this season. It might go lower if we don't play well in the second half, and if Wickham don't play well in the second half, that might be good enough. We might end up in second spot with a lower average than other years as well. So, you know, I'm not worried yet. Now, of course, it's too late to worry once you've already fucked it up. And that's okay. We can talk about it, you know, all we want, but I'm going to stay more positive about our chances for the moment, because I see the players that are coming into the team, and I see the team potentially getting better with a few changes. So I see a stronger finish for us at the end of the season. Like I've already said, the caveat is if we fuck up the next couple of matches, it might already be too late. And if we go on that slide, you know, then yes, we can get in trouble very fast. So these are the matches that are left. And Tech, you can have a look at this. So basically, I've said we need 16 wins. No, 16 matches remaining. And we need 3 wins from each group of 4. And that leaves us with a bonus match of Lincoln at the end. So all I did here is I didn't highlight basically the hardest match of each 4. So we beat Northampton. I had Leyton down as our hardest match in this 4. So in theory, we would want to be beating Mansfield and Bolton. Then we got the next 4, Wickham, the hardest, Stockport in this one. And then all of this last run-in is potentially winnable and on the easier side. Exeter, Cambridge, Burton, Wigan, Bristol, Blackpool, Charlton Athletic and Lincoln. So we do have a very realistic run-in. If we get to Stockport County match and we are within spitting distance of second place, whoever it is, if anybody else makes a charge or if we are just barely ahead by 1 point, we are in a very good spot then to finish it up. But just having a look at the weakest teams there and the teams we still have to face, can we get to Stockport County without being screwed? And what do you think in general for the run-in for the end of the season? So at this point, when I made this graphic, we had 15 points we could lose between all those matches. And now we've lost 1. So we're down to 12 points. That's all the averages tell us that we can lose and still get second.
Huddersfield away, Reading away that week is going to be, those are the 2 for me. Those are the key for me. If we can get points out of those, we can get points out of those, because you've then got Wycombe Wanderers away as well. Those are 3 very, very tough away games to play.
Yeah.
Well, Checky, to your point, to make Paddy really happy, Peterborough's got Huddersfield away this weekend.
Exeter City are a worry away because you don't know what they're going to do, and their ground's it's a really weird ground because it's quite small and compact. Because I've been to Exeter City before. Small and compact ground. It's not a fantastically nice place to play, as is Cambridge United's ground either. I remember going there back in the 80s when I was a teenager, and that's not changed much from what I remember. And we have had Fortress Kairas, which has been breached recently. I don't know whether you saw or I found the stat. When was the last time we lost 2 home league games back to back? April 2021.
Well,
was the last time.
Okay.
Well, Sticky, when was the last time we lost 3? Because if any team's going to come and want some revenge, it's going to be Bolton.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to be. It's St David's Day as well. So it's Welsh Patron Saint Day. So everybody's going to be fully Welshed up. And yeah, absolutely, they are going to be roaring in. They're going to be roaring in, and they've played us recently, so they'll already know how we're going to set up because we are getting a bit predictable.
Yep.
Because
they had their chance. They had their chances in that match. Like I watched that match. Bolton had multiple chances to score. That was not like a convincing.
Mateta's a baller. The guy, midfielder Mateta, he's a great player, by the way.
But the post saved us in Bolton. The post saved us, otherwise it would have been 1-1 draw and we'd have penalties.
Yeah.
So that's a luck factor rather than a skill factor, and you just don't know. So that second week with those 3 horrendous away games are bad. Stockport at home. We remember the last game of last season where Stockport came and we beat them and we did well, but they're going to be out for revenge. Exeter away, Cambridge away, 2 very, very nasty games because Cambridge, and this is the X factor we're not talking about, because as you go later in the season and those teams in the relegation zone, they're going to be fighting for their lives.
Yeah. And Burton. They
all pick up their games slightly. They all add an extra few points on there of how well they play.
Burton's going to be out of the relegation zone after this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, one thing as a narrative that we have spoken about a lot this season is home form versus away form, and the issue is it's a narrative because there's such a disparity between the two, and now we're starting to talk about home form and if we lose a couple of matches here, well, if we flip it and the away form gets better. Having a look at this graphic, the hardest matches in the groups of 4 is a home match with Leyton, which we've lost, a home match with Stockport County, a home match with Charlton Athletic, and then there's only 1 away match. And everything else we're saying we have to win, which is easier in theory away matches. Now, if that narrative never came about, if we actually did better in some of the away matches we've had this season, and if we did worse with some of our home matches, this would never have been a narrative at all. and now people are worried about the home form because of 2 matches in a row. I understand why, because it's a trend, and you don't want the trend to continue. But again, sometimes we jump on things a little too harsh. But our away form hasn't come up just yet. We've had 2 good matches in a row against weak teams, so we haven't got a trend of winning away matches yet either. So I understand that.
No, we won 2 in a row. We won 2 in a row. Hold on.
Could be 3 in a row after the weekend.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Could be.
The one I'm really more concerned about, that kind of burns my balls, is the 4 a.m. Bolton Wanderers game for me. And I don't like it.
So it's not the game, it's the time that Josh has got to get out of bed.
Yeah, I think we'll win the game, but I just don't like it. Yeah.
12:30 kickoffs. Midday kickoffs.
4:30.
Rubbish.
4:30.
Rubbish
That's a kick in the Paul Mullins for me, Welsh Techie. So yeah, it sucks balls.
But we need to go on to Mansfield on Sunday and absolutely trounce them. We need to get back home, and we've played Bolton, so we know how they play. So Parky should be putting things in place to negate Bolton's threats, because we now know what Bolton's threats are, and they're going to be playing a stronger side because they put out a slightly weakened side for the Virtue Trophy game.
They were good.
They'll be putting out their stronger players. So we need to negate that. So Parky's he's warned about this. He knows about this now. So we should be putting things in place, and we should beat them at home. Huddersfield away is going to be the one. If we can get 3 points out of that, I'll gladly come on and say, okay, maybe I've been a bit pessimistic. Maybe there is a chance that we're going to get automatic promotion.
Just remember, we got Peterborough, Mansfield, and Bolton.
Yeah. So all right, give us Batty, Aaron. Ken,
somebody,
Ken, footy tip, Welsh Techie there. Footy tip them.
Footy tipping. You want the result of the games for the weekend?
Yeah, footy tip Welsh Techie.
Yeah.
Right. Go on.
Welsh Techie.
Or what? The weekend.
What are you saying, Josh, for the weekend?
No, for the next 3. Go on, do them.
Oh, for the next 3. Okay, there you go. For the next 3. Well, let's do the next 4, including the Virtue Cup, Josh. Mansfield. Welsh Techie. How are we going to go against Mansfield?
3-1 to us.
3-1. Against Peterborough at home?
2-0 to us.
Bolton Wanderers at home?
1-1 draw.
And Huddersfield away?
2-0 loss.
There we go. Yeah, done. So that means in our league games, Welsh Techie's only giving us 4 points out of our next 3 league games.
Wow.
I'm afraid so. I honestly think that's how it's going to go. And I hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I've seen this now for months. It's not a new trend. We've been getting away with it. We've been getting away with it, guys.
Yeah.
By doing 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Squeak, 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 squeak. 1-0.
Well, we'd like to thank Welsh Techie from Huddersfield Town for coming on and second favourite team, Bolton. We really think he's done a great job as a great team supporter. It's been great having you, Welsh Techie.
Listen, right? Go and look on the Mould Road stand, on the bricks on the Mould Road stand, built into the foundations of the Mould Road stand, and you will see my name there. Right? I don't support Huddersfield. I don't support Bolton. I don't support Mansfield. I support Wrexham. Okay?
Yeah.
My granddad's name's in there. My mum and my sister's name's in there. My brother's name's in there. We are a family of Wrexham supporters, and we always have been. So it's never going to change.
I saw the shot. It was clear, and I took it. There was no danger. I was only below the hard line for a brief moment.
Top Gun Maverick, Ken Dub. There you go. By the way, great chart, Patty, doing the work there too.
Yeah, okay. Really good, Patty. Really good.
We don't have for almost 2.5 hours too. I will get in trouble with producer Ann. But I'm going to close this one down. And opening up the show was Brandon. Did he do his homework, Aaron?
They went to bed, so I don't know. I hope he did.
Okay,
Patty's
good.
jealous.
Okay, Patty's jealous. Patty, and Techie, and Ken, and myself, and Carmer who came on. This is what happens. Red Horde and Red Horde too. Sorry, Red Horde too as well. Red Horde. We will do the watch-alongs if you guys have. We'll take care of you guys. Anything. Also too. I want to say something too. This is God damn it. This is great. Fuck. We just get in here. We just dig dirt. Awesome. 2.5 hours of just talking smack.
When are we all gonna get you to the race course for real? Paddy's been. When are the rest of you coming over? Aaron, get a bloody passport for Christ's sake, or I'll buy you one myself.
I'm working on it.
Jeez,
my
Louise.
problem is here's my problem, Techie. We're not gonna have a cop next year, and I've got 5 people to bring over. I've got a wife and 3 kids, so getting tickets for all of us next season might be a problem. So I might have to wait on the new cop. How
about just you, me, Ken, and Patty just going over with Techie?
I would love to do that. I also know that little boy that you guys saw earlier will fucking murder me if I go without
he
him.
will. Yeah. No way. There's no way he'll let you go.
What if he
but you need to get you out because Paddy's done it. Paddy's been at the sharp end, both home and away. He's been, that time he did in London, and what I watched his live stream, it looked absolutely horrendous. Bless him.
Yeah, me and my wife were having the conversation the other day. I think my plan is 2 years from now, Wrexham at home against Sunderland sounds good. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
I'm thinking.
Techie.
Wrexham Leeds when we're in the Championship.
Leeds, there you go.
Unless Leeds obviously get promoted and they go up to the Premiership.
They go back down.
By the time we'll come together in the Championship, so it'll be absolutely fine. Wrexham Leeds, that'll be a good game.
I've got a better one. Wrexham v.
We've never played Leeds ever. We've never played them
in the Championship.
No, so we've never played Leeds, not even in a cup or nothing.
Nope.
Hey, but Techie, you have your 100th show coming up. We're going to be on that too. Also, just tell us a little bit about that to put out to the people.
It's just they'll be we're doing a video one for the first time, so it will be like this rather than just listening to us. And I've got the 2 boys from Oz. The 2 Beards guys, how I'm going to stop them swearing, I do not know.
Hang on.
No chance.
Hecky.
What?
Are you saying that you invited both the Aussie boys and you didn't invite all 4 of us?
No. The reason being is because when he does the watch-alongs, often Josh does them on his own.
Yeah.
So that's why. So it's Josh's fault for dumping us on the watch-alongs.
You know why? He kicked us off of him. He kicked us off.
I only invited Sean. I didn't invite Brandon or Deirdre either. So they've got a grievance too.
Well, Techie, this is how it went in post-production. Aaron, Ken, Patty, I'm too big a star to share the stage with you guys. I need to do it alone because you guys just don't have the pulling power that I have. And so you guys can't come on. And so that's how that went. Also, I'm a little bit disappointed that you got the 2nd and 3rd best Australians on your show.
Ken, let's be honest. Ken, that's a very low bar, though, isn't it? That's a very low bar.
Kip Karma's better than those 2 boys.
Yeah, there you go.
So Josh and Sean and the 2 Australians. It'll be me. I don't think my 2 other 2 are going to be coming because it'll be when we record it. It'll be 1 o'clock in the morning here for us, so I can't imagine they'll make it. Matt from Racecourse Ramble's thrown his toys out the pram because he's not invited.
I saw that. I did see that. You invite him?
Yeah, and for all the fans out there, that is exactly how it went with Josh. He's just gone, guys. I'm too big.
I tell you what, Josh. If we need somebody to serve the hors d'oeuvres, I'll invite Matt.
I don't know what that means. Is that a dig on me or a Matt?
No, that's a dig on Matt.
Oh, okay.
He can be the hired help.
Wait a minute. Somebody's getting paid? Hired? What? Wait a minute.
Aaron's a
minute.
builder. So Techie.
I heard that too, Aaron. I heard that too.
Yeah.
Since it's a live show, and I'm going to be very, very selfish right now. We're live right
Yep.
now. I'm going to put it on the spot.
Yep.
Patty Power, Ken, and Aaron, can they make guest hosts and come in and at some time
Nope.
during the show?
No, that's okay.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
coming in now, even if he wants me. Too fucking late.
He's so fucking Irish. Yeah. Come on. You invited.
Only
come on
they
now.
can come on, Josh. Only if they only wear a bow tie.
Done.
Oh.
Done. Let's
It
do
could
it.
be like the Chippendales.
Done.
Do I have to cover my nipples?
If you want. Doesn't matter, really.
I'm just asking. I need to know.
I'm
Maybe
just
you
saying
want
the
it.
boys would be happy to come on.
Now, look, Welsh
No.
Techie, we're out of practice. We haven't done a watch along in I don't know how many months. We could possibly come on.
The thing is, all we're going to be doing, because we're not going to be doing we're not going to be talking about so how did you get into Wrexham? All those, because you've been asked those questions like a billion trillion times.
Right.
It's basically going to be, we're going to sit as a group and we're just going to talk about, what you currently think of Wrexham, where you currently think we're going, how you see the future. Not the immediate future, the long-term future.
So no origin
Stuff like that.
story is what you're saying.
No, none of that. No, I'm not doing that crap.
Patty, those
No.
are important,
Surprise,
Patty. You don't
surprise.
like an origin story. Those are key for people. Come on now. Those are key. That's production value.
Oh, this is so good.
Fuckers.
This is so good. This is like
Also-
someone else is taking the Mickey out of Josh.
Yeah, I love Patty. Origin story are key. Trust me. And so, Welsh Techie, you've agreed to bring on at some point Ken and Patty and
No, don't do that.
I would love to have them. The more the merrier, and the party is fine. It's a party at the end of the day. That's the idea behind it. It's a party, and also we've never really, in fact, well, funny enough, tonight we have, but we've never really pulled international fans from across 4 time zones together in one place. So I think it's just
welcome
be
to my
a good
world. We
laugh.
shoot the fucking rehearsal here, dude.
We
Let's
show
do it.
you.
I know that.
We love
But,
you.
you know.
We love you, man. I love Welsh Techie. I
Well,
love.
But
I'm looking
But no,
forward to
and then we'll be just talking about the three our usual crew. We'll be talking about did we expect to get to 100 episodes? Because apparently less than 5% of podcasts ever go beyond 100 episodes. Do you know that?
We're at
Less than
700. We have
5%.
700 shows. We have
Yeah,
700.
but
I
you-
think local pundit
You
did
are
that in like 6
legends. You
months.
do this. I don't know how you do it every day. I struggle to do one a week. I really do.
We love
Well,
it.
just,
I'll tell you this right now. I love what you guys do. And
I
sorry,
need
Patty,
a substitution. Sorry.
I'll tell you
I
this
actually,
right now.
I laughed so hard I hurt myself.
I'll tell you this right now. I made a commitment to myself and my beautiful wife, and she's like, "If you're gonna do something, you got to do it every day. You're gonna make a job, do it every day. You're gonna do it every day." I love this. Absolutely love this. I love Ken. I love Patty. I love Aaron. I love you, Techie. I love everyone in the chat. Karma, everyone that's part of it. All this stuff. And I believe that no matter what we do, we got to go put it forward and do our best foot forward. I just love the community.
The reason why this works though, Josh, is the same reason why we set up Eat More Chips podcast. It's like we're all sitting around a pub table.
Yep.
Right now, this is what it is. When you're in a pub, when you're in a bar, this is what it is. It's 5 people chatting shit about virtually nothing, getting passionate about things we're passionate about, having an opinion, but the respectful opinion doesn't turn into a fight in the car park, because that's what we get the other 2 Australians for, Ken. We don't get you to do that. You're the upper level. We get Adrian and Ramsey to do that.
They're going to be no chance in that because they're going to be too relaxed.
That's true. But that's what it's about. This is like 5 guys sitting in a bar talking about stuff, and that's where it works because because then everybody else who's watching and joining in and commenting and watching it back afterwards, it's that thing where you can just have it on the background and you can it's something you can watch, and you don't necessarily have to absolutely input to it like you do with some podcasts, as in you have to be a part of it and engage with it, otherwise you don't get the full benefit. This is more like chewing gum for the eyes and the ears. It's like a warm blanket. It's just nice. It's just nice, and it's a great thing, and it's good for your mental health. To have a laugh and a joke with people is good for your mental health, because there is enough crap in the world right now which really brings you down. And it's funny because Zoe was saying to me the other day, why don't you listen to things like political podcasts? Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to make myself feel even worse with what's going on at the moment? I don't want to get anywhere near that.
No politics, no religion on the local
No.
pundit. And the
No,
global
no,
pundit.
no.
You want to know why?
Can't be doing
Because we're in the pub right now. Ken, Patty, Aaron, different space. You're a different space. But to the point, this is something where we come in, we put our feet up, we enjoy ourselves, and it's great. And also, to that point, which of the Wrexham stuff, Wrexham podcasts, Wrexham podcast, Welsh Techie, Matt from the Racecourse Ramble, 2 beers, okay. You have the Red Horn also coming in together and doing the things like that, and we were all enjoying each other. Whereas some of the other stuff, like Manchester United, Arsenal stuff, they're all like fighting. And I think this is the basis of what Wrexham is about and why I love doing this. I've never met Patty in person. I met Ken in person, unfortunately, but Aaron, I have done, but I haven't. But this is what it's all about. True to that point, I love this. This is what it's all about. So, we're in the pub, we're doing a thing, and it's fantastic. So,
two quick things on that, Josh. There's Esteban. My wife has never encouraged me as much as she's encouraged me about being part of this community. Thank you all. And secondly, if those 2 Yankees are in a pub with an Australian and an Irishman, they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah. You're right. The piss they call beer? Whew, yeah, no chance.
Well, that's awesome. Patty, you have something teed up there? I saw you. I can tell by your cadence. You got something there.
I was coughing.
Oh. Well, we took him out.
He had a hairball.
Who's taking us out on the bombshell? I'm not doing it. Who's doing it?
Braden's in bed, isn't he? Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon's asleep.
Brandon's asleep.
By the way, has anybody actually read the strapline under my name? It's been there for 2 hours and nobody has said a word.
I missed it.
Where's the stuff on these?
Guess what? You're doing it, bro. Hold on.
Love it.
Oh, I reckon it's Welsh Techie. I reckon it's.
Hold on, Techie. You're doing.
Well, thank you for watching The Local Pundit. My name's Josh Anthony, and on that bombshell.